Welcome back to the name Redacted podcast, America's most beloved podcast, the most downloaded Red Sox podcast in the world. We are once again joined by one of my best friends in the entire world, maybe one of the best human beings to ever live. One of the most generous, smartest, kindest, most influential individuals to grace this world, not just in his field, not just in his former profession, but just in general. One of the greatest men to ever live. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Patrick James Light.
Hello, everybody. Very good to be here. Very good to be here.
It's good to see you. You look fucking amazing. You look great. You look happy. You look healthy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I am spectacular right now.
He sounds.
I'm in dry January, which I've never done in my life. Fun fact: the longest time I've gone without alcohol so far since my baseball playing days.
Yeah,
and by baseball playing days, I mean the beginner portion of my career, because towards the end it was
a lot of alcohol.
No break. Yeah, no break whatsoever.
Yeah. All gas, no breaks for Pat Light.
Yeah. You know me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've actually, you know what? We obviously we have you on because we love you, and it's always good to talk to you about no matter what the subject is. But I've been loving this business content recently. I've been diving headfirst into the business content, and you know me, I'm probably one of your top commenters as far as business is concerned. Where would you rank me in terms of, like, you know, your consumers? Like, I've got to be, if your TikTok is a bar, where am I amongst your regulars?
I mean, on TikTok, yeah, you're top 1%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not a consumer because I wouldn't classify you as a consumer. You're a supporter, which is more meaningful to me.
Sure.
As I've always said at my bars, like, my friends oftentimes can drink for free. You know, I'll make money off my consumers, but you guys are here supporting me, which means so much to me. Honestly, I knew the moment that I went into the business world, there was no doubt about it that you were just going to be around quite a bit in those comments. You just were. I mean, you saw it in my TikTok a few months ago or a month ago or so when you had made that comment, that just the typical that I think you mandated that you pay at least double at any of my establishments. Is that correct?
Triple. I mean, I've changed it to triple cents, but like you were kind of talking about, you know, like the people, like when you're talking about owning a business, like where does it factor in when you have friends or high profile clients that come in and you want to comp them and things like that. And I said, when I go to a Pat Light establishment, I offer to pay double the price.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the type of guy you are. And that's why I took that comment and made a specific video dedicated to you, because if I had more friends like you, Jared, it would just be a much easier time for me and not so many mooches that are coming around the establishments. Like I told you, when we went to, what was that place we went to do we didn't do a show, but we
Cask and
Flagon.
Yep.
When we went there, I got to tell you, I don't don't know if either of you recall Tyler ever offering to pay for one of those rounds.
You didn't.
You guys were doing this to me. I was a victim.
Listen,
no.
Jared was willing to pick up my entire tab at any point in time.
Yep.
And that's just the kind of guy he is, and he doesn't drink quite like I do. So it's just a true supporter. Jake, I know he was busy with people, but you knew immediately the moment he had a free moment that he was going to try to go over there and get that tab.
Right.
Tyler,
you think I got Jared money?
Tyler on the other hand was...
Look around.
Yeah, listen.
Look around. Look at the situation I'm in. I've lost the green screen. I had to give it up. Rent-A-Center came and took it an hour ago. I have nothing left. Nothing. I have green screen less.
Do you golf?
Yeah, I hit the tees.
So why are your golf clubs? Why are your golf clubs in your bedroom? Like, why don't you? Do you have a garage, a basement, or something?
I can't really move my camera right now, but I have a putting green set up from right about here to the door.
Okay, so then you could have a putter in your bedroom, but that looks like a whole set of fucking woods and irons.
You know, I like to get a little practice in. I like to take some swings. Hey, you have baseball bats around your house that you grab up and you grip sometimes.
Yeah, I have baseball bats throughout my entire house. That's a fact.
I'm just at that point with golf.
You could find a baseball bat in 4 to 5 different rooms in my house right now if you were to just take a stroll around my house.
That's how I am with golf clubs. You walk down the stairs, you see a putter. You walk, down my basement, there's a driver. I have a little bit of everything to offer.
Yeah. Obviously, it's a huge benefit to have Pat Light on the show because he's a former player He's a former Red Sox player, but he's also the premier source as far as business goes in the United States, maybe even North America, would you say? Or it's like, I understand like there's probably guys like in the world that may have more money than you. I mean, $30 million is a hell of a lot of money, but I mean, there's people that have more than $30 million, but I'm talking just building yourself from the ground up.
Yeah. Now, listen, we're huge in North America. We've recently moved into Pakistan.
Okay.
And we've hit a little bit of Europe now as well.
Yep.
Ireland and Scotland. I mean, I can't walk around those two countries.
They love you there.
Oh my goodness. It is. The moment I step off a plane, I might as well be Mr. Beast over there. It really is something special to see Pat Light step foot into Scotland or Ireland.
Yeah.
But we're getting bigger in Pakistan. China is really trying to get me to distribute more content in Chinese. I haven't quite done that and made that investment yet. But
do you speak Chinese, or is it something where you use AI?
No, listen, I speak a little bit of every language that's ever been talked or said. Or spoke. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, spoken. But no, I don't know if you've seen the Mr. Beast stuff where he does all of his videos in like every language possible.
I have not seen that, but it does not surprise me either.
No, it doesn't. He makes a huge investment into translating all of his stuff. So similar thing there. China. I mean, let's see. South Korea has been on my nuts. It's just been endless. South
Korea has been on my nuts.
Yeah, it is. It hasn't ended. I mean, my email gets blown up by prime ministers and presidents almost daily trying to get my content in the hands of their people. And it's just, listen, it's tough. It's a major investment. And, I would be lying if I didn't want the United States to get a little bit of a leg up to get my information first so that we can kind of continue to build the United States of America. But, in time, we'll get to that type of level. But the countries that speak English right now are getting a little bit of the benefit.
Have you considered running for president of the United States? I mean, it's, I heard that there's an election next year. I think I just found out yesterday that I can't vote. I didn't register in time to vote. I guess I'm out. Yeah. Like I wasn't on the census or something. So I can't even, I would have voted for you.
Well, Pat's not old enough.
Yeah. No. What do you have to, he's not old enough. You have to be 35.
It's like 36, 35.
Like that. Yeah. So, all right. So the next time.
Yeah, well, what I will tell you, and again, this is something
2028, light 2028,
something that I haven't told anybody, but both parties have reached out about me being their VP.
Oh,
both parties have, understandably, because I excel at both. So it's been something that has been on my mind. I don't anticipate running. Me and Mark. Mark Cuban for the folks. Me and Mark.
I thought you were referring to Zuckerberg, but.
No. Zuck is out in Hawaii building the compound right now. Zuck
he really is. I wanted to get your take on that too. What do you make? Because I mean, I'm sure you're probably in. I don't know how much you want to reveal or how much you want to say, but a lot of billionaires have been building bunkers over the last month and a half. Do you know why they're doing that? And have you considered building a bunker yourself as one of the wealthier men in America?
It's. I'm trying to see what I can say here.
Yeah,
it's an interesting time here in general around the world. Again, I have to be pretty general here in my speak in generalities,
right?
Because there's a lot at stake here.
Sure,
I can tell you that I am set up in a way that I need to be set up just in case something were to happen. However, I did not build a $250 million bunker like Zuck did.
Yeah,
you're a space
but
guy.
you have an invite, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Tyler, yes, Spaces has been incorporated as well, but Zuck has built a whole wing for me if I needed it. But I have several of those, so we have a few different places that we could go. Again, I can't divulge any of the locations.
Yeah.
Other than Iceland, I have a space, but outside of that, it's not much I can say on this topic. But I would say there's definitely things that are a little bit scary when it comes to certain things that are going on around the world and elections and politics and all that good stuff. So but you bet your bottom dollar that I'm ready, and I have space for all of my family, all of my friends, and you guys are all included outside of Tyler.
I'll buy you a drink at the bunker. Come on, is that what it takes?
It's my bunker. I don't need to buy drinks.
You're going to just watch me and my family die at the doors? Tsunami?
No, you'll never make it to the doors. You have no idea where it is. But Jared and Jake, there's plenty of room for you guys on the plane out to wherever we need to go.
Oh yeah, I would love to join you in space. It's something that I've thought about a little bit here and there. You know, like, is it something where I would want to go to space? Is it something where is it worth continuing life if it only exists in space?
Oh, you want to go to space? Let me tell you.
I do.
Oh, listen. What the general population sees of space is certainly not what us billionaires are enjoying in space. This is think some of the best cities in the world just on a different planet with no real laws or regulations. You want to go to space, Jared? Believe me.
Did you see this in the New York Post yesterday? Did you see this story?
What story?
Chinese lab crafts mutant COVID-19 strain with 100% kill streak in humanized mice.
Please,
with a quote, surprisingly rapid death. Did you see this?
I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, this is in the New York Post 22 hours ago. There is what's this called? What's the thing called where they correct the tweet underneath on Twitter?
Community notes.
Oh, community notes. The community notes say the virus in question is not COVID-19 strain, but a completely different virus in the coronavirus group. This virus is named GXP2V. Where I'm from, P2V is a little bit different than a virus. Can result in viruses sometimes, and is modified strain of GX 2017 identified in 2017 prior to the COVID-19 outbreak. So maybe this is why the bunker is happening, because maybe people are just starting new viruses. I don't know. I really don't know.
You're not surviving in a bunker. If there's a disease, then you have to go to space.
I basically live in a bunker now. What are you talking about?
No. You're missing it. Do you know what goes into a bunker? As someone who almost built a bunker when they were 12 years old, I don't want to give too much information in the Bridgewater area. You need to have everything sealed. The doors need to have like these special things so no air or disease can come through. Right now, something's coming right underneath your door. You're getting the disease. Everyone who lives with you is getting the disease. Your family's dead as fuck.
I'm not saying my house is a bunker. I'm saying I am accustomed to living life as though I would be inside a bunker. And you have to factor in, like, Pat Light's bunker is going to be top notch. It's going to be better than my living situation right now.
You don't want to waste resources. You're not going to be partying or going, having restaurants on this West Wing.
That's why you're not invited. We're not wasting
that
resources.
Kind of attitude. Yeah, that's that kind of attitude that also just doesn't. We don't allow that kind of negative behavior in those bunkers.
I'm going to keep you alive before you get everyone killed.
Oh my God! I feel like you would panic immediately. We would have such negative vibes going on in the bunker with you.
It'd be terrible. Negativity.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're being negative right now.
I'm trying to keep you guys alive. You don't need the positivity horn right now. I'm trying to keep you guys alive. I don't want Pat to kill his family. I care about his parents.
I love Pat's parents.
But he obviously doesn't if he's trying to kill them.
He's not trying to. They're in the bunker too.
Oh, here's a little
Jake's
food.
in the bunker.
No T-Dog?
No T-Dog. My family's coming.
I'd like a job.
A great bunker.
Can I have a job in the bunker? I don't need food or nothing. I just want to be an employee.
Do I have to pay you?
No.
Yeah, dude.
You let me stay inside somewhere. It doesn't have to be a room. It doesn't have to be finished or anything. Just there's.
So, do you have any skills?
Hold on. Just before we get even into that, let's just make sure that the whole audience is aware that he is now ditching his family just to work a job in said bunker. He's willing to kill off his family for an unpaid internship in a bunker that he doesn't know where it is.
Is it about extending my
murderous rage knows no bounds?
I just, if I have to continue the Milliken name, the legendary Milliken name, my mom and sister aren't going to be able to do that.
Well, you're not doing that inside our bunker. I'll tell you that right now.
No, you're not doing that. I mean, not in this bunker.
Let me plant a seed in your bunker, Pat.
No.
There'll be no seed planting in my bunker other than the people that I allow to plant seeds. But I mean, just the ability to just kill off your family in under about a minute and a half shows you kind of where you're at. And we can't trust you in that kind of a bunker, in that kind of a situation.
I'm about survival.
Trusting you.
I think quickly when things go wrong and you need to start pushing people off like you did on the Titanic where, hey, little Billy, you got to hop off. You're not going to make it. I know who to kick off. I understand who has to go first.
Now, he's classic. He is the Rose in that where there's plenty of room on the raft. He's just like, no, there's no room. You're dead now. That's the type of person you are.
Then you eat them.
Yeah. It's pathetic.
Okay,
Also,
now we're eating people.
Yeah. Did you see that movie? What was it called? Snow Island, some shit like that. You know what I'm talking about?
What? Snow Island?
Fucking,
Cannibal
it's something
Island.
like that. It's about that rugby team in the 70s where their plane crashed in the snowy Alps, and some people died in the plane crash, and then they're stranded, and eventually more people die, and then they have to eat their friends to stay alive. Like, they were there for like 2 months, and they have to like make that, like, everyone kind of said like, hey, if I die, you guys can eat me, and then they like eat their teammates, and it really happened.
That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
How bad do you want to survive?
The fuck out of Tyler.
I
know.
Me?
I put it this way. I wouldn't want to. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen Snow Island, they like find a radio that works, and then they hear on the radio like the news report about their crash, and then they hear someone be like, "Well, we're calling up the search. We can't find them. Well, it's too bad." So they're like, "Fuck," and then they try to survive even past that. The second that I heard that announcement on the radio, I would eat Tyler and then kill myself.
Why are you gonna eat me? Let's just die together.
No, if you were already dead, I would eat you and then I would kill myself.
Well, you just assume I die in the crash. Like, I didn't even make it to the next part.
Yeah. You would have got stuck in the door. Like, they were like, "Oh, we can't get him out of the plane. Oh no,
stuck in the door. Come
Guess
on.
we gotta eat him.
Oh no.
Yeah. I'd be like, "Dude, my ankle is just twisted. I'm not dying." Like, no,
No, yeah, just see ya.
Yeah. So it's a good movie. Check out Snow Island. I don't know what it's really called, but it's something like that.
Hold on, let me just did people survive? Is that how they know the story?
Yeah, plenty of people survived.
So no, I'm saying like you said they were calling it the search, so they eventually ended up researching and finding them.
I'm gonna spoil Snow Island, but I mean it's based on it's a true story, so it's not like, it's basically like saying in Titanic, "Oh, what do you mean you spoiled the story? The ship sank." Like, people, yes, they survived, but it was like 2 people left and like walked across the fucking mountains and risked their lives to find civilization, to be like, "Hey, our friends are over here," and then they went on helicopters to go get them. But
well, listen, if you're tuning into that movie and you see based on a true story, and then you're seeing the parts where they're on the island, you have to if you don't assume immediately that somehow some of these people are going to survive, otherwise how the hell do they know the story?
Yeah, it's definitely not an island, but
I've Googled everything possible, and this movie is definitely not called that.
No, because it's not an island. It would make no sense if it was called Snow Island.
But it is Snow Island.
Yeah.
Ooh, you don't want to end up on Snow Island. No. Jared, remember where is Snow Island again?
It's in the Alps or some shit like that.
It's in the Alps. All of the islands in the Alps. Yeah. Yeah. Don't want to end up there.
You don't want to land on Snow Island in the Alps. That's a one-way ticket to frostbite. I'll tell you that right now.
Yes, it is.
I got it.
What is it?
Miracle of the Andes.
No,
that's
not what it's called.
Wasn't even close.
No, that's not what it's called.
I actually got it.
They ate people.
What is it, Jake? What is
Society of the Snow.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah. Snow Island. Yeah.
Tyler fails again.
I'm gonna just stop.
You couldn't even get it right with Google. That's terrible, dude. That's bad.
I typed in soccer team crashes, dies, eats each other.
It was a rugby team.
Oh, sorry. That's where I messed up.
Yeah, it's a rugby team.
You didn't even get the first word right in the Google search.
Yeah.
Your first step was incorrect.
Yeah. That's okay.
Uruguayan Air Force Flight 571.
Mm-hmm. You can make up for it, though, because the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll help you make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Pat, are you a Giants fan?
Big time Giants fan.
Okay. They're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So you can't bet on the Giants.
No, I can't bet.
Do you have a dog in the fight? Do you like the Bills?
I like the Bills. Who's in the playoffs right now?
Chiefs.
The Bills, the Chiefs,
Lions.
the Lions, the
Packers.
I like the Lions. Yeah. I like the Lions. I like that the team hasn't won in forever.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to root for someone, I like the Lions. I do like the Bills though too.
Okay.
I'm over the Chiefs. I really like Jason Kelce, so I'm upset. Not that I'm an Eagles fan in any way because of the Giants, But I did like Jason Kelce. It's
he's a good guy.
it's unfortunate that might be his last game.
Yeah, I'm all in on like Taylor Swift being like a big thing with the NFL.
Huh?
Taylor Swift, like that doesn't annoy me. How it annoys like other insecure men.
Same. Yeah.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code Jared, Jared. New customers can bet just $5 to get $200 instantly in bonus bets only in the DraftKings Sportsbook with the promo code Jared.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Yeah, that bothers a lot of people. I don't know why. I like when she was just like dancing. It's like, is she doing a dance move that several thousand other people aren't currently doing right now? Like, why can't she do the dance move? Am I wrong with that?
No, I don't think you're wrong with that. I will say, and I like some of Taylor Swift's music. I just was forced to watch that movie
Eras Tour.
You were forced to?
Yeah, 3.5 hours long.
Why are you forced? Why are you forced?
Well, we got to do something on the weekends, even though you're not drinking, and that's apparently what my lovely girlfriend Avery wanted to do.
Your lovely girlfriend Avery.
Yeah, lovely girlfriend.
We love Avery.
Love you, Avery.
Everyone, she's big friend of the show. So, but we watched that. I found out what eras I like, or I don't remember the names of them, but I remember there are certain eras that I do not enjoy. Something about Winter Row or something. Era something. I don't remember what it's called, but it's not
okay.
Good.
Okay.
I will say Taylor to me does feel a little bit showy, like she enjoys.
She's one of the most famous people in the world.
Yeah, but I don't know. She gives me like all about me vibes.
Well, it is all about her.
Well, I know, I understand that.
Yeah. If there's anyone in the world right now that could walk around and be like, it kind of is all about me, it's Taylor Swift. Like
100%. She deserves every second of it.
Like the NFL is like a cult. It's one of the most profitable businesses in the world. And she just walked in with no football background. It's not like her dad is Joe Montana. It's like, it's just, she's Taylor Swift. She has no football connections, walked in and took over the league. Like, you have to respect that.
Have to. And Travis Kelce has gained millions of followers because of it.
Do you guys think it's real? Do you buy into their love?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think it's authentic?
I do. I buy it. Yeah.
I think it's authentic. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see that report the other day that they're planning on getting engaged this offseason?
I don't buy that. That's way too soon. She's dated so many guys.
You think, that means she knows what she likes. That just means she knows what she likes, Tyler.
I think this is one of those situations where she's definitely feeling something. They're connected. But sometimes when you're friends and everyone's boosting you up around you, things start to advance very quickly.
Well, here's my counter to that. So if you're Taylor Swift, you've dated a lot of dudes that are super uber famous. Not that Travis Kelce isn't super uber famous, but out of all the Taylor Swift can't date a normal dude. Like right now, Ariana Grande is dating SpongeBob. Like I don't know what's going on there, but more power to him. I believe he had a wife, like his high school sweetheart was his wife, and they were like married with kids, and then he just abandoned his family for Ariana Grande.
She left her husband too.
I mean, love is love. Love is love.
Yeah.
But with Taylor Swift, she's dated so many famous men that she knows what she likes, she knows what she doesn't like. And some of these super famous guys, they're fucking weirdos because of how famous they are. Travis Kelce, out of all the super famous people right now, is probably the most normal. Like, she never had a high school relationship where it's just I'm a normal guy, I'm a normal girl, you're a normal guy. Like, she never had normal. And Travis Kelce is a normal thing. So she probably is oh, this is what it's like to just be a normal person.
But she's usually into the hipster guy. She's like, oh, Harry Styles. I like you. You like music. We record. We fit. Yeah. She's kind of dating the jock. Is it I just want
it's
a different
she's
flavor?
The cheerleader. And now I get to be when I'm in high school or college and I'm the girl in the stands and my boyfriend is the star and the football player, she's getting to live out those years.
But that's just the high school dream. I think you get to the point where it's I tried that new thing, but you always go back to the thing you love.
Most of her music is about her heart getting broken during high school, pretty much, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I listen, I support it. I think it's real. If they get engaged this offseason, I don't think it's too soon.
You know who's a better couple?
No.
Who?
Vanessa Hudgens and Cole Tucker. That is one of my favorite relationships.
It's my boy. It's my boy, Cole Tucker.
You're married to Gabriella. Are you kidding me? That's what you get to live every day?
I don't do the High School Musical thing.
Oh, I'd have her sing different songs, whatever it may be, on our anniversary night. I'd run it all the way through.
Yeah. I beat Cole Tucker in beer pong a few years ago, spring training. So, I mean, it's something that I hold near and dear to my heart. It's one of my finer accomplishments in life, I think.
Did Vanessa Hudgens send you a congratulations?
I believe that was before they started dating. It wasn't long. It was like right after that. I think like right after, it might have been like a week later was like their first paparazzi picture together. So maybe they were talking I don't know. Didn't ask.
Step it up.
Yeah. There is a funny story that connects to something in the future, but I'll save that story for another day. From that trip. I'll tell that story in March.
Red Sox related?
No, but it is sports related. Has to do with the Toronto Maple Leafs. We'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there. Hey, we'll get there. The show is cooking.
Can you name a player on the Maple Leafs?
Yeah, that's the player in question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. So we got to talk about a little bit of business here, Pat.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you still follow your favorite baseball team, the Boston Red Sox. I don't know have you been seeing any of the stuff that I've been dealing with on Twitter this
I have.
past
I've seen
week?
a ton of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to address that really quick. And then
of course, you should.
I want to kind of bring you guys into the conversation as I'm sure you can relate from a business standpoint, Tyler from a fan standpoint, Jake as well. I want to get you involved in this discussion. So if you're not on Twitter, because I don't want to assume that everyone is, and people say, like, I read some of the feedback from fans sometimes where they're like, you know, I hate when they talk about Twitter because like not everyone's on Twitter. All right, I'll catch you up to speed. So, I don't know, about a week ago, some Red Sox fans tried to start this movement to boycott the Red Sox. Don't go to Fenway, cancel Nesson, don't support the team, yada, yada, yada. And I threw a tweet out there saying, you know, I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm still going to go. Like I where I'm happiest is at Fenway on a summer night, just sitting there. And like in 2012, when that was like the first god awful dumpster fire season, that was the season that I think I went to the most games. Like I think I went to like 40 games that year. It was awful. And it wasn't like, I think what, because a lot of these people are fucking idiots. Well, what a lot of these people don't understand is if you go to the game, it's not saying like, well, I'm going to support the team anyway. Like, no, I just like to go. Like, I just like to go. So at first I thought fans were joking. Like, I thought that like, there's no way that they could possibly be serious about this. But then like their argument was, if you spend money on Red Sox tickets, then you have no right to complain because you're putting money in John Henry's pocket. So I said, for a couple of reasons, like, we are not on the same playing field here. Like, this is my fucking job, number one. So I have to go for my job. And number two, it would be completely different if like 3 years ago, me and Pat Light were like, hey man, you want to go in on season tickets behind the Red Sox dugout together? That'd be fucking sick, right? Like, we can just split it and whatever. We can have 6 seats. And then we canceled them in protest of how shitty the Red Sox are. Completely different than having season tickets since I was 9 years old in the same seats for my entire life, basically. Since 1998, I've had these seats. And fans are like, fucking cancel them then. Like, if you're not happy, like, that's the only way. Like, you're the big Red Sox influencer. So if Jared Carrabis cancels the season tickets, well, then that'll get the Red Sox to spend money on free agents. Like, no, it fucking won't. Number one. Number two, yeah, sure. If it was example A, and we're talking about, 3 years ago with Pat, sure. All right, fine. Yeah, well, we're sending a message by canceling our expensive, behind the dugout season tickets. I've had these tickets since I was 9. I will eventually someday hand these down to my kids, who will hopefully hand them down to their kids. Like, and I tweeted out today, and people were roasting me for the size of my nipple, which I thought was unfair.
Nice tip.
It is a small nipple. It is, but that's not the point. I said, these seats mean so much to me that I literally have them tattooed on my chest. On my chest. And of course, the message, it's Twitter. Like Twitter's going to Twitter. And the replies were, why does the ticket stub not match the seat? The ticket says 13, but the seat says 12. Like, let's put our brains together here. Let's use our brains here for a second. It's because we have both seats. We know people have season tickets, just have one seat. You think we take turns? You think like my family takes turns? All right, I'll go to one game. You'll go to the other game. No. We have two seats. So 13, seat 13, that's me. Seat 12, that's my dad. But that was the main takeaway, was that the ticket didn't match the seat. But I was like, I'm not going to cancel my season tickets that I've had since I was 9. The sentimental value is far too high. Like, it might be the most sentimental value thing that I possess in my life, those seats. And then throw in the fact that it's my job. This is how I provide for my family and myself. So like, people were coming at me being like, well, which one is it? You said you have the tickets because it's your family's tickets and you don't want to give it up because of sentimental value. And then on the other hand, you say it's your job. Which one is it? It's both, you fucking idiot. Why can't it be both? Why can't I want to keep my season tickets, but I also do have to be there for my job? Like I do. Like, oh, well, can't you just cover the team at home? Yeah, but then I can't get interviews for Baseball is Dead. And not that we do like a ton of fucking player interviews for this show anymore, but for Baseball is Dead, I used to go every Tuesday, and whoever was in town, I would interview them and get them on Baseball is Dead. But there was this one tweet that was tongue in cheek, it kind of encapsulated what people were tweeting at me. But this dude Patrick said, if you were a real fan, you would cancel your season tickets, quit your job, let the bank foreclose on your house, and move back in with Ellen. That's more or less what people were trying to say to me. Like, they were like, I want to empathize with you, bro, but like, you won't cancel your seat. Like, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem by going to the games and spending money. Like, when I go to Fenway, like, the only money that I'm spending is on fucking parking, and it goes to like my old apartment building. It doesn't even go to John Henry. Like, yes, I have my season tickets, but I also have a press pass and whatever. It is actually crazy that at first it was so crazy that I thought people were joking, but it got to the point where I was like, wait a second. Oh my God, you guys are serious. Like, you guys are actually mad that me, Jared, won't cancel his season tickets that he's had since he was 9 over. Like, I get it. I'm not saying that you can't be upset as a fan. I'm upset. Who the fuck said that I'm not upset? I am. Does that mean that I have to fucking stop? Like, I'm not telling anyone what to do, how to respond. If you want to boycott, all the more power to you. Go ahead and boycott. Don't go. I'm not going to Winter Weekend. And it's because of the situation. I'm not like excited about the team right now. So I'm not going to Winter Weekend. I'm not spending money on a hotel in Springfield. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not buying a ticket to Winter Weekend. Like, that's understandable. Like, that's, I guess, my boycott is not doing that. I fucking love Winter Weekend. Not going this year. But to tell me that I'm not a real fan unless I don't go to Fenway, what the fuck sense does that make? What are we talking about here?
I think for me, where it comes down to is just stop telling people how to be a fan. Whatever pathway you want to choose, whatever you get to, Fenway Park and the Red Sox means something different to everybody. Now, this is part of our careers. It has a different impact. We make that tie. To other people, they shut the game off. It's the same reason why when the Red Sox suck or things are going wrong and we wear it, we cry about it, it brings us down. Well, yeah, it's our daily job. It's what we love. We'd be doing this stuff for free. Jared, you did it for free long ago. I've done it for free. Like, it's just part of the game. Pat, you've even, done Red Sox content for free. It all comes in different ways. For some people, through all those years, an 86-year curse, people who had season tickets and went through all that, people clung to them for that same stuff you talk about, Jared, passing it on generation to generation. And it wasn't always about the Red Sox. It was just what it meant to maybe their dad or their grandpa or someone they loved. For people I went to school with, a couple guys that I went to college with were like, hey man, you remember when we went to all these games, like, and we did all this stuff? It was just a place to hang out. It was one of your ways to reconnect with people, do something special with your friends on a Friday night at Fenway and have a beer. That's what some people crave and want in the summer. You can feel how you feel about the team and you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to spend a dime, good for you. Just don't impose it on other people. Everybody has their own view of it. Everyone cares about the Red Sox in their own way. Who are you to tell them how to be a fan? There's people who are supporting John Henry and Tom Werner and backing them. I get plenty of that on Twitter. Here in well, now you've turned into one of the negative Red Sox people. No, but I'm going to express to you how I feel about it. You're free to feel the way you want to. Just don't tell me I have to feel the same way as you. That's what makes this fun. We can all see it differently and we can have these conversations. Just since when did your opinion become more important than the next guy?
Yeah, it is. It's crazy right now. Like you almost like can't.
You can't pick
openly
every side
say.
bad.
Yeah, like you can't openly say that you're a Red Sox fan right now. Like you can't be happy. I mean, I'm not happy about the team, but I am going to go to the games. Sorry about it. Like it's what I like to do.
But don't say sorry. You have no reason to say sorry.
Yeah, like I know that, but I mean, it's just fucking crazy how many people are like, you're part of the problem. Like, bro, it's
a historical friggin' landmark. It is one of the most legendary spots in the entire sports world, especially baseball. Some people just want to make that trip and say, hey, man, this is my service to the game, to what I love. You're going to tell them to go fuck off? You're going to tell them not to go support it?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
How about the fact that I'm just openly saying it's the place that I'm the most happy?
You've had your best moments of your life there.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
All the workers there, like they it's not even like, oh, ownership and this and that. It's like, no. Like, what about the people that like the servers and the ticket takers and the security? And like those people are like some of my best friends. Like, you think I'm just going to like not see them for a year? Pat?
Yeah. So that's another thing that I wanted to bring up when I had a moment. If you are successful, which you're not going to be, but if you're successful in doing this boycott, the first thing that's going to happen is that your people that are well below John Henry are going to lose their job. Mm-hmm. So you're not actually going to. John Henry doesn't really care. Clearly, he's first of all, he's extraordinarily wealthy. The people that are canceling your season tickets, you don't want to commit to the problem or be a part of the problem. I get that, but someone's just going to go take those tickets, maybe even at a higher value now.
Right.
So
it's just going to be fans of the other team now, which is what happened last year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Fenway's going to sell it anyway. It's just Fenway. That's what Fenway does. That's what Boston does. That's the type. And I understand that Boston has a unique. Like, I personally have never had a bad day at the baseball stadium except for during my playing days. I love going to the Red Sox games. I always hope that they win, but I'm having just as much fun if they're losing. Well, maybe not just as much fun. Slightly less fun probably, but there's never been a bad day at the ballpark for me other than while playing. So your boycott, although I understand, is probably misguided because the people you're going to hit first are the people you definitely don't want to get hit. Mm-hmm. It'll hit John Henry's pockets, but he's still going to be fabulously wealthy. The people that are going to get hit first, if you start seeing concessions go down, you start seeing gate receipts go down, you start seeing all of this type of stuff go down, people are going to start losing their side gigs, which in a time we really want to dive into the economic climate. It's not going to be a great time for the next year or two. So you're going to get people and they're going to lose their source of income for the summer, which is not going to be great. You're going to hurt people that you have no intention of hurting in order to try and hurt a fabulously wealthy man that your season tickets are meaningless to. So it's just not like the Oakland A's when they were doing the reverse boycott last year. It was laughable. I understand what they're doing. You have we did some research over on the podcast that I do just about the business side of it. And Vegas was giving them like $500 million to go build the stadium, and Oakland was giving them exactly zero. It's like, are you guys serious? You guys really want them to? They're not staying now because you guys, half of you showed up to the ballpark this year. Mm-hmm. Like it's misguided. It's not the way to go about this. I honestly think the best way to go about it is to have people like Jared and Tyler that are going to cover the team and be honest and be negative and make it a lot louder on social media to try to drive John to do things. But he's only going to do what the hell he wants. It's what comes when you're a billionaire. You don't really have to do things you don't want to do. And if he's not going to open his pockets, then so be it. I don't know what to tell you guys. I mean, but go enjoy baseball for what it is, which is a great, nice little thing. And Fenway's like awesome to go watch a baseball game. I love going there. I love going into the box that we go into. I love going down at the front row with you guys. It's just a great place to go watch. And then you get to walk to the bar. It's unique, something you don't see in most cities. So you're not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish by canceling your season tickets. So And then when you do want them again, when we inevitably spend, they're going to be more expensive again. So you're going to be complaining about that too when you go to re-up one that you haven't had in a few years. So it's just, you probably should do something different.
Yeah. I mean, I think that when I, like, people almost think that it's a bit when I describe my life, but it's very real. Like, when in the off season, like, my life is in purgatory. Like, I am sitting there waiting for baseball season.
You fill time.
And
you're looking for things to fill up the time.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, he fills it up with restaurant
what do
content.
I do today? I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm just waiting for, like, I feel like there are a lot of Red Sox fans that they are probably fans of other teams, other Boston sports teams. It's like, you have the Celtics, you have the Bruins, you have the Patriots to, like, fill the void for you. I don't. Like, I'll check in on the Bruins here and there. Like, I'll check in on the Celtics here and there. But, like, it doesn't elicit an emotional response for me. I don't really care. It's not like, oh, wow, it's a Wednesday night, the Celtics are on, I'm going to sit down and watch that game. Like, no, like, most nights I'm just like, I'll sit on the fucking couch, I'll scroll Netflix for like 20 minutes and be like, well, it's the same 30 movies that were here yesterday, and none of them look good.
Now you're making us sad.
Oh, what's that movie called that we're going to watch now?
Snow Island.
Yeah, so I can't wait to watch it. Which streaming service is that on?
It's on Netflix.
Oh, can't wait.
But then I'll look through Netflix and be like, oh, same movies that I don't want to watch again. And then I'll watch a couple of TikToks and comment on a couple of Pat Light TikToks. And then I'll be like, well, I guess it's time for bed. I'll just stroll upstairs and brush my teeth, get in bed, and make a phone call, fall asleep, and start over the next day. That's what I do during the off season. So for you to try to take the Red Sox away from me, of all people, you might as well pull the plug. It's like, you might as well just be like, all right, this guy has nothing to live for now, just pull it.
And the other half of it is, like, I know we have these conversations on here, we do podcasts, we're on Twitter, and you said this, somewhat earlier, that's just, and fans feel this way when we talk about Twitter and Red Sox Twitter. It's not the majority, it's the minority. We're the people who obsess over this stuff, who tweet about this stuff, who feel the need to talk about it 24/7 every single day. The average dude who brings his kid to Fenway for the first time, who says, hey, Lil Tommy, like, look at the monster, look at the grass. It's deeper than a lot of the stuff we talk about. That's bringing your kid to his first ball game. It's a whole different level to it. Most people aren't even entrenched in it to enough to give a fuck about what John Henry does or how they spend. They say, hey, we're going to go to 3 or 4 games a year, if that, especially in this economy. They don't care. That's not how they factor it. So if you think you holding out is going to make a difference in his pockets, it's not, because you're the minority. Talking about it, killing them on whatever platforms you have and building that up, like Winter Weekend, when you have the diehards show up and they're booing you so hard that you're scared to have the same event a year later, that's what does damage. That's where you see how they kind of rethink how they have to go about things. That's where you hit. That's why you have them lie and say the things they did right after Bloom got fired in the Breslow press conference happened, because they felt the need to kind of get the wolves off their back. That's the stuff that does it. You boycotting on Twitter and starting a fucking hashtag in the year 2024, good luck, dude. I'm sorry. Like, that's not what's going to change life for anyone.
No. Also, quickly, to believe that they were going full throttle was the term, right? Correct. That was the term they used for Red Sox fans. We're a little bit delulu here, okay? So to not really get the time of day from any major executives in baseball, and then for us to go hire a unproven Craig Breslow, who is a smart guy from what I understand, but he's not really. It's kind of it's not what we typically get from Boston Red Sox. For those people to pass on us so easily, I mean, those people are doing their research. Boston Red Sox typically pay well. They all called Heim. That they're going to figure out whether or not there's actual room to spend here, and they're going to be able to build a good team. They're not going to. Top executives are not going to put themselves in a position that their owners are not immediately ready to make them successful. So the fact that we went and took as long as we did to get a GM, we went in an unproven route. It should immediately tell you that big spending was likely not to happen in the offseason, because if they were really actually going to go full throttle, which executive wouldn't want that job, pretty much?
Right. Which is kind of my point all along, is if we just went into this offseason with Heim, I think it would be infinitely less toxic. It's like, all right, let's see how it goes. Like, I understand that, like, yes, like fans would not be happy after another last place finish, but firing Heim says, okay, we're changing the course here. And then Tom Werner saying full throttle is like, what do you mean you don't know why the fans are so upset? You're the one that got us all excited in the first place. So they told us that they were going to go full throttle. They fired Heim, indicating a change in direction. And then Breslow in his introductory press conference was like, there are no financial restrictions. That's not true. Like, from what we are being told now, that's not true. And then him being like, well, you know, like, we're going to have to make some trades that hurt. And, you know, we've got all these prospects to deal and we're going to trade for pitching and yada, yada. And then immediately, like this, like, we're going to get into it. I'm going to hit an ad read and then we'll get into the Breslow comments, because that's what pissed off everyone a couple of days ago. But the Breslow comments more or less said, yeah, you know, a lot of people want pitching. It's expensive. So I don't know if we're going to get it. When in the history of baseball dealings has there been a bargain price on pitching?
Josh Beckett was so cheap, wasn't he?
Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, did you really go into the offseason thinking like, well, you could put together a couple slapdick prospects and land a frontline guy? Why would that be a surprise? When has getting a starting pitcher ever been cheap or reasonable? It's always cost something astronomical. So to come out and say in the beginning, yeah, like, we have no financial restrictions and we're prepared to make those deals that we may regret down the line, but we're going to put our nuts on the table and do something about it this winter. And then to do nothing. And you can say, oh yeah, like, you know, we've got our what's the saying? We've got our fucking what in many fires. What is that? You know what I'm talking about?
The metal sponge or metal square.
Stokes.
We got our Stokes in a lot of fires right now.
Many
metal
Stokes in one fire is the actual.
What the fuck are you talking? What the fuck is a metal sponge?
No, it looks like a square, something built like that. I've seen it in the rich movies.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's many Stokes in one fire, not many fires with one Stoke.
Did you see the Alex Spear report or what he had said in that podcast for Baseball America?
What did he say?
So there was a major line in there, and I think that's where we kind of draw the line at this press conference, that before Heim was fired, there was a belief throughout the organization that they were playing to turn the dial up, that they had this young core kind of take that step this past year that they saw and was like, hey, if we put some money into them, this thing can really start to open up. The window starts to become clear. That was pretty obvious out there, at least for Heim. And, you know, say what you said, Jared, when we talked at the beginning of the offseason, what you were hearing from certain people in the front office, I felt like you heard a pretty similar kind of line of thinking. Did you not?
Yes.
So Spear questions, and the way he kind of frames it is it Breslow coming into that first year, not really knowing, you know, first year, trying to figure it out. You know, I got accelerated to this position and I'm trying to, you know, learn the job on the go here. Is it some of that? Is there a disconnect between Tom Werner and John Henry, which Sean McAdam continues to push in recent podcasts, talking with Cotillo, kind of saying maybe Werner sees it one way and John Henry's kind of in another ballpark? Go ahead, Pat.
This is something that I find curious that I didn't think of until right this moment as Tyler speaks. Is there a chance? I know they talked with the full throttle comment. Who spoke about that? Tom Werner. Right? Did he do that pre or post Breslow?
Right after the press conference. Like immediately after.
Okay. So I'm kind of debunked there. So because I was essentially thinking that maybe they did want to spend a ton, and still could be, still possible. Maybe they did want to spend a ton, but the guy pressing the button, probably John Henry, Tom Werner, maybe not, because they didn't get their people in there. Maybe those top execs they really trust weren't necessarily maybe Breslow didn't necessarily convince them the way they had hoped to be convinced that he knew what he was doing and that his advice was the good advice to put in a major investment in somewhere. Maybe they didn't necessarily agree with the guy,
Pat, and
maybe they were ready to spend.
And I'll follow you up, and I'm not agreeing that they're ready to spend, because I think you look at the Teoscar Hernandez situation, saying you had to shed payroll before going after a guy like that. Sorry, you're $35 million under the luxury tax. There's no excusing that one way or the other. And then finding out a year ago that you had, you know, a budget line set at $225 when you could have spent at least another $8 million more, and you were starving for a pitcher. But kind of going off what Zach Scott said, who was in this Red Sox front office for 20 years, went to the Mets, had that whole situation play out. He kind of wondered, and he said throughout his entire time with John Henry, and there was some mention of when, he overlapped with Bloom just a little bit, Dave Dombrowski was so special at convincing John Henry to spend that money, and Lou's kind of pushed this point as well at times. Heim, apparently, from what we saw, had a hard time convincing John Henry at times. Craig Breslow, you're putting that guy in a position where you made all these comments, and I personally felt like the Werner, quotes that came out were throwing him under the bus. It felt very similar to Heim, where it was like, hey, it's not really about spending money. The teams that spend the most money every year don't always win. It's about the moves Craig makes. Well, expecting that kind of guy to come in and make those, big pushes on someone like John Henry, that's a big task. But when you hire these kind of guys back-to-back times in Heim Bloom and Craig Breslow, where I sit there and maybe it's a little conspiracy theory or not, we know how strong John Henry felt about that Chris Sale extension. Dombrowski said, hey, fuck off. My nuts are on the table. You're giving the dude the money. Sorry, too bad. Look at what we just did. You're going to pay him. Is John Henry in recent years, these last two hires, looking for guys that he can kind of will? That he knows he's not going to, put his resume. What is it? He's not David Dombrowski. He's not going to the Hall of Fame before he even got here. Well, I'm going to hire Heim Bloom and Craig Breslow, who, we share very similar philosophies, but these guys aren't going to corner me into spending money or maybe convince Warner and these other guys, and then they pressure me to spend. Is that where some of the disconnect comes in? Because there's no way you look at the comments across the entire organization, and everyone wants to mention the full throttle thing with Tom Werner. How about this? And this was Werner, that same media session. You need great players. It's not about selling the appeal of the team. It's about having great players. And generally, you need players who have high WAR to be a winner. Rafael Devers is a star who will be with us a long time, but we need to complement him with other talent. One of the great players this past postseason was Adolis Garcia, right? What was he? Designated for assignment by two different clubs? So I sometimes say that baseball is somewhat confounding. But obviously, when you look back, you need to have stars. You're saying you need stars. You haven't added a star this offseason. So that's beyond the full throttle
They've
comment.
subtracted stars.
That's what it is. And that's where you sit there. It's like you say all these things as an organization. Either you're so out of step that you guys aren't on the same page. You have no idea what you're selling here, or there's someone pulling the strings. And at the end of the day, it's John Henry's decision. Is he just putting his foot down and saying it's my way or the highway? I don't know, because Brian O'Halloran, who's a senior executive still here, he was the GM when this comment came out. Another one who really pushed that they were going for a World Series. We're optimistic that we're on the upswing from that standpoint, but we need to add, and ownership is definitely committed to doing what it takes to improve this team this offseason to go into next season with the chance to win a championship. Sam Kennedy at the end of the year press conference, we're aiming for World Series championships. That's it. That's the aim. That's the goal. That Breslow article was the complete opposite of that entire tone. That was telling you, guys, our window is probably at least a year away, maybe two. So where did this entire line of thinking go out? Were you just doing it for PR? Is it the organization just all isn't in one step? Did Craig Breslow come in and say, I don't really see the vision here. I think you're farther away than I thought on the outside. What I tell you is you need to pay older players and veterans one way or the other as you have a young core developing if you want those guys to develop in the big leagues. Throwing them out there and throwing all the pressure on the world for them to figure it out, good luck. They are going to fail. They are not going to have the support they need because you got Cutter Crawford, Bayo, Casas, whether you want to throw Whitlock or Helk in it at this point, do what you want. Rafael Devers, I don't know if I said Duran. You have names. You have a young core that's there. Why not supplement them with money in the right pieces you need so that by the time you get to that Teal, Meyer, Anthony window, you completely take off? That should be the vision. Instead, you're just going to say, hey, we'll see what happens when they get there, when it may be a year or two before they're even the players they need to be. Xander didn't click right away. It was great what he did in that playoffs. We all remember 2014. Jaron Duran as well took time. Go ahead, Pat. Sorry.
Thank you. Jesus. See now, this is going to be stuff that you guys need to help me with because I don't follow quite as hard as you guys do. Has there been any indication that guys want to sign with us and they're just not getting enough money? Or is there a possibility
that wanted to come here?
Okay, because I was going to ask you, based off what you guys are talking about and what I'm hearing now, it seems like we might have a little bit of a cancerous type situation amongst the front office and what's going on there. And if you're just hiring puppets that John Henry can control, is it really is it really like, a place that guys want to come play? Or maybe we're offering some money, but guys are just like uninterested. And maybe the first meetings before the big offers even come are just not going well. And now people are just uninterested. It just kind of never progresses into something that can be, something that might be good for both parties. So maybe it's one of those things where we're just not even getting to the point to offer something huge because meetings aren't going the way they should, because we have, a front office type problem, whoever's running these meetings or what have you. I mean, if Craig Breslow or whoever is not respected, because you got to know Scott Boras is those guys and those longtime agents, the GM isn't respected. They don't even care what he says. Like having a call from him is almost meaningless. Scott's going to go right to John Henry, if anything. So like if you have that kind of situation, and honestly, that's what I heard a lot about the Yankee situation, that was, back in the day, Cashman was just kind of there. It was always, George that did everything. So no one even spoke to Cashman. Yeah. And now Cashman has to do everything and it's not going so well. So like I wonder if it's a situation like that where it's just kind of not a good work environment. And, everyone kind of knows that maybe the GM role or whatever role Breslow has is kind of a meaningless role at this point. And, why even take his phone calls and why even try? It's either John Henry's calling me or I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I've used this example before, and maybe this speaks to you too, Pat, where the general manager, chief baseball officer, whatever, is a financial advisor for John Henry. And in years past, like if you go back and you read Feeding the Monster and you see the dynamic between Theo Epstein and John Henry, Theo Epstein is a nerd, but he's a nerd with fire and passion and conviction. So he was able to convince John Henry, like, hey, we need to go out and fucking get a Kurt Schilling. We need to spend money on player XYZ. We need to give this money to David Ortiz to keep him here. Stuff like that. And the same thing happened with Dave Dombrowski. Dave Dombrowski is like, yeah, like we're doing this. Like, I don't give a fuck what you say. Like, you hired me to do this job, so I'm doing this job. But like, that's not the personality of Heim. Heim's not going in there being like slamming his fucking fist on the table saying like, John, fuck you, we're doing this. And it's not Breslow's MO either.
But like,
and he's also in a position, like Tyler said, he's brand new to the job. Like he has no experience at all to be able to walk into John Henry's office and say, fuck you and what you think, we're doing this. Like that. But it's also John Henry is surrounding himself with yes men. He's surrounding himself with these people because he probably sees that dynamic. Like, oh, I'm instead of hiring someone that's going to bully me into spending money, I'll hire someone that's just going to do whatever I say. And that's been the last two hires, more or less. And to kind of what Pat was talking about earlier, well, in the case of Breslow, that no one else wanted the fucking job. Like how many people had to say no before they even got to Breslow? And that's just kind of how I look at it is. And I guess, it's inexperience and all that. But I don't think that since Dombrowski, we've had someone who can go in there and make John Henry spend money. And it's not like he's fucking broke, because I'm not a big soccer guy, but apparently Liverpool is in either signing or in play for top premier free agent players. So it's not like Fenway Sports Group is hurting for cash. It's just, where's your focus? Like where do you want your money to be allocated? Because it doesn't feel like the Boston Red Sox right now.
And another part of that puzzle I'll throw in here is Sam Kennedy. And you've talked about it, Jared, countless times about what Larry Lucchino meant and the role he played. Talk has been, and I think you mentioned this when we had Dave O'Brien on, Sam Kennedy wasn't around Fenway as much this past year. He was kind of more in the back than he's ever been before, kind of used to be a forward face. And John Henry looked at him and gave him the role of being the mouthpiece. I'm not going to face the public anymore, but Sam Kennedy, you will. You will go out there and you will tell the fan base what our ideas are, how we want to go about this. You're our voice. Where does his role come in? Is he playing his part in this? Especially when you have the likes of Bloom and you have the likes of Breslow, right? Kind of knocking at the door. Is he kind of just another part of that yes man group? Is he willing to put his foot down on the floor? That's a real question I'd like to have answered. And, we're going to see him at winter weekend, right? We're going to hear him do his thing. But the way he was speaking at that end of year press conference, it hasn't matched that either. So the reality is the Red Sox have been speaking for a long time, and you can go back. I think Coley said it on Twitter the other day. Xander and Devers were supposed to be here. Before that, there was countless promises. You go back over the years. They are just not especially since they won the 2018 World Series, they've just kind of said a whole bunch of shit, and it's really never actually been the case. Their actions have told you the complete opposite of what their words mean. So that's why fans are going to sit here and continuously get upset, because we can't trust anything you say at this point. You can say Tom Werner's fucking crying, sobbing to Sean McAdam, trying to re-describe what full throttle means. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Look at every other quote. That's revisionist history. You're trying to rewrite what those quotes were because you think you can pull one word. That's fucking insane. Read the entire transcripts. All of you are caught red-handed feeding one single fucking message because that's what they knew you wanted to hear. And that's the most frustrating part about all this. They knew what you wanted to hear, so they said it. And it seems like, at least from the very start of the offseason, because we knew damn well, we heard Sean McAdam had it first, that they were looking at the trade market, and they weren't very deep. They weren't very deep on all these different free agent options. That's been the case since the very start of the offseason. So I don't want to hear some switch flipped or whatever it was. And on top of it, you add in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Where the fuck is the offer? Because
that's what I want to know. What is it?
24 hours after Shoto Imanaga signed, we know exactly what the Red Sox offered. It took fucking 24 hours and you had a response. You put it in an Alex Spear article, but you didn't put shit out about Yamamoto. Not a friggin' word. Instead, you cried in that article and you said, well, we really wanted him. And then, he picked another team. So you didn't have a plan B, C, D, nothing? Did you just throw up your hands and said, oh, well, sorry, I guess we're going to kick it down 2 more years and hope that Teal, Anthony, and Meyer can save us? That's absurd. Yeah. That's such ridiculous expectations to put on those guys. Makes no sense. The whole point of being a big market team is so you don't have these major lulls. And now you're in a major lull once again. And it also goes to show last year, well, if you were planning to stay under the luxury tax this year, why the fuck not go over it last year? You were competitive at the deadline. You were right there, which also goes against the whole fact that they want to act like this team is so far away when they're not. They just need some actual investing.
So 2 things. The first thing is something that I tweeted the other day where I said, when those Breslow comments came out, if on the surface we're being told, hey, we're gonna wait for Meyer, Teal, Anthony to come up and be players, like legit stars, and that's when we're gonna spend and we're gonna go full throttle and surround them with talents that like we go. Like the core is established. We got Bayo, we got Casas, and then Teal and Anthony and Meyer. I think fans would have reacted to that differently. Where it's like, okay, there's a plan. But where fans are upset, and rightfully so, is the Mookie Betts trade was 4 years ago. 4 fucking years. And you finished in last place in 3 of those 4 years. So we've already waited. It's not even like, other organizations will wait and be like, oh, we'll at least have like a winning season.
You need everything to go right.
We'll sneak into the playoffs. Yeah, like we'll sneak into the playoffs. Like we'll at least be interesting. The Red Sox are very uninteresting. They're boring. They are not a good baseball team. They're not bad. I think that, Coley made that point when he did his rant yesterday. Like the misconception is that they suck or that they're bad. They're just like painfully mediocre, which is kind of worse because it's just so fucking boring. But we've already waited through 4 years of suck, and now you're telling us it might be another 4 to 5 years to contend again. Like that should never happen in a market like Boston. Like what the fuck are you talking about? That you punted on a decade almost. If that's how it pans out, because you're waiting for some of these guys to come up. And the perfect example is Xander. Like Xander came up, paid dividends in 2013, like caught lightning in a bottle there. But then it takes a year or 2 for these guys to get acclimated to become the stars that we hope that they are going to become as big leaguers.
2018 was. It was like, wow, all these guys took their time.
Finally
they developed.
Clicked.
Boom. You saw it fully explode. That will probably be, in all reality, that's like 2028, 2029. Like for Meyer,
I don't have that kind of fucking time, dude.
You're the Red Sox.
I don't fucking wait for that. Like, what the fuck? And like the people are like, oh, you're just impatient. Like, you got to wait for the prospects to come up. That's fine. Like, if you don't want to trade from that branch of Teal, Meyer, and Anthony, fine. But you can still go pay Jordan Montgomery to make the team interesting this year. You could have brought in Teoscar Hernandez. Like, you could have done these things. You could have made the 2024 team better so that we're not all sitting here being like, I don't even know if I want to fucking watch these games. if it wasn't my job, I would be having that conversation of like, what can I better use my time for this summer? Because it's not going to be the Boston Red Sox. We're fucking stuck with it. And I just happen to like baseball, so I'm going to watch baseball anyway. But that's the main point, is your philosophy. It makes sense. Fine. You want to wait for these guys to come up, and then you want to supplement them with money and free agents after that, and trades and extensions and all that once they're up here and they're playing at the top of their game. Fine. But like, we've already fucking waited for 4 years, and it's about to be half a decade this year in Boston. Like, and I get that there's probably fans of other teams sitting there being like, oh, you guys have no idea. Like White Sox fans, like, you guys have no idea, man. You guys don't know what it's like to sit through fucking rebuilds and blah, blah, blah. Like, we kind of do. Like, it's not like we're not Dodger fans where they just win 99 games every fucking year. It's like, yeah, they may lose in the first round more often than not, but guess what? You're having a blast all summer. Like, you're watching a winning baseball organization kick everyone's ass, and then you see what happens in the playoffs. Like that's a great situation. You may not win the World Series every year, and more often than not, you don't. But you're having a fucking great time for 6 months during the baseball season, and it may suck for a week during the playoffs when you inevitably don't do shit. But being a Red Sox fan means you have a fucking awful time all summer, and then there is no playoffs. So I don't know. I'd rather have their situation, to be honest. So that's what drives me nuts. Then the other point is, and you're going to love this, T-Dog. You're going to love this point. The 2007 Boston Red Sox, they were built on like Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz. You made the big trade for Josh Beckett the year before in 2006. Like, you built the foundation of stars through free agency and trades first. And then 2006, you call up the rookie, John Lester. 2007, you call up the rookie of the year, Dustin Pedroia. Then a late season call up in 2007, you call up Jacoby Ellsbury, but you added Mike Lowell in 2007. You built the foundation of a ass-kicking, mostly homegrown team in advance of calling up the prospects. The Red Sox are telling you right now, we're going to do the 2007 thing backwards. We're gonna wait for the prospects to get called up, and then we're gonna surround it with veterans. Like, that's like, your own history tells you that's not how to get it done. So why the fuck are you trying it now? Like, you built the blueprint in 2007. You went from wire to wire, one of the best team in baseball that year. You remember that juicy ass World Series, Tyler?
Oh my God.
Colorado Rocky. They didn't even have a chance, baby.
Destroyed.
They didn't have a chance. And that's how they built that team. They did it backwards from how Craig Breslow is telling you he wants to build the next World Series team.
And that's where you look at where you are right now. And I'm not saying they're going to be 07, 04, but you could see where it builds from here. In a perfect world, right? Everything goes right for Meyer, Thielen, Anthony. They're kicking the door down in September. Is the world perfect? No, it's not. Last year, Meyer gets derailed after May because he injures his shoulder and tries to play through it. Roman Anthony, what had arguably the second best season in all of minor league baseball last year behind Jackson Holiday. What if something goes wrong this year? Kyle Teal, he might get there before either one of them. He's still learning how to call a game in the minor leagues because when you're at a D1 school in college, they call the game from the dugout. So he's trying to learn all these different things. There's just, why are you banking so hard? And you can look at them as the core. I'm not telling you to trade them. I'm not telling you any of that. But why can't you supplement the young guys that are already on the roster? I hate acting like this team was a 60-win team last year. They won 78 games, and that included a September where they didn't play fucking baseball. They were playing a different sport. They didn't even know what the fuck they were doing. Like, we all sat there and were like, all right, 84 wins, even at the end of August, was like, oh, that's all right. They're going to get there. Come on. They just got to be, barely 500 and they'll get there. Instead, the team folded like some fucking laundry and were pathetic down the stretch, which has its own questions. But that's where you sit there. You have young pieces that have taken that step. Cutter Crawford, Bayo. I'd even say Youre Abreu earlier, right? And, maybe you flip one of those and that's what becomes of a starter or however it may be. You have these pieces. If you supplement them with the right veterans, they can grow instead of them coming into this year and you looking at them and saying, wow, these guys have to be the guys this year. Mm-hmm. That's just not what you should put on them. You don't need to do that in Boston. Jordan Montgomery, shed Kenley Jansen's salary if you really want. If it's that bad for you, shave $8 million. Cool. Go pay a DH. Go get Jordan Montgomery, and everyone would sit here and say, all right, if this is the plan with Meyer, Teal, and Anthony, I can see it. You went about it the wrong way, but I can see it. Right now, and according to reports, they're not even willing to do that. That's where you sit here and say, well, you're going to fucking feed me Mike Clevenger, right? You're going to give me Mike Clevenger and something else. And that's no disrespect to Mike Clevenger, but come on. Like, you're just asking to be mid. You're asking to be boring.
So here comes the big business question, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Sox are, I mean, the year that they won the World Series in 2018, winningest team in franchise history. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, was that the highest payroll in baseball that year?
2018?
Yeah.
Yes. 2019 as well.
Highest payroll in baseball in 2018. They win the World Series, most wins in franchise history. Why do you think the Red Sox are doing this? Because John Henry is not, it's like we just illustrated, is not poor. He's not losing money. He's not trying to get out of business ventures. And the big point here, when people are talking about the John Henry selling the Red Sox, like, oh, are they preparing for a sale and all that? When have they sold anything? They're acquiring teams. Like they have not, in the history of the Fenway Sports Group, have not sold a team.
They're building out the area.
Yeah, they keep adding teams. And it's not like the Red Sox aren't profitable, even if they do suck. So I don't see a reason why John Henry would sell. And I believe Sean McAdams said on a podcast a couple of weeks ago that, they're not going to, or they don't plan to. So why, like, what business sense is there for John Henry to just snap his fingers and say, we're going to go from the highest payroll in baseball, just winning the World Series, most wins in franchise history, to we need to shed payroll, even though we're light years beneath the luxury tax?
If I had to guess, there's a couple things. So like I'll refer it to, I will compare it to the restaurants that I own. So they're like, first off, the reason I asked about the Breslow stuff and talk about the GM search is because like I have a different manager at each location that I have. And there are some managers that can have a very easy job convincing me to spend money. And there's other managers that have absolutely no chance of convincing me to spend money. It just depends on the type of person it is, what kind of business sense I think they have. So that's going to be a problem. On top of that, if the business is making good money, and it's coming in. This could have been a plan 5 years ago. It could have been, let's bring Dave in for a couple of years, do what Dave does, go win us a World Series or two, and buy us some time with Red Sox Nation to allow us to go build up around the stadium. Now, I would imagine that Fenway Sports Group doesn't actually own all of the properties they're building up on. They're all going to be different so that you can't sue one and sue them all type of thing. But you would have to imagine they're allocating dollars elsewhere. And, Red Sox fans are going to show up. They're not going to stop showing up. Maybe some will. So they're still going to make a ton of money. And if I'm a guessing man, that's exactly what I would do. Like, there are plenty of times where all these businesses or these bars make me a decent amount of money. And instead of me reinvesting into those businesses, because they're doing good, they're solid. Could I make them better? Probably. But I'd rather go buy 2 or 3 more restaurants with the money that I made rather than reinvest into that current thing. So the Red Sox business is sound. I just looked it up. I deleted it. I took it off on one of Tyler's rants. But I looked at Red Sox on Forbes. They're doing great. I mean, it's a spectacular business. There's not. You can complain all you want, but they're raking it in. And then if they're going to buy all the real estate around it, get to some development projects where they're going to develop all these places. I mean, you can't fathom the money that they're bringing. Like the Red Sox are the tip of the iceberg. You can't fathom how much they're going to bring in, how much they're going to be able to borrow against all these real estate assets, borrow against the Red Sox and go do more and more and more. Buying, players and making them come in here and do good. It's fine. But it's not, if I had to guess, it's not their focus. It's clearly not. I don't have to guess at that. It's clearly not their focus. And with that stuff, it came out, I think this offseason or in the summer. They talked about all that project they're doing all around Fenway.
Yeah.
That's where I got to imagine that's what they're doing. They're taking the dividends, the distributions from Fenway Sports Group, whatever it is, and then they're reinvesting it into real estate around the property rather than reinvesting it into players that are theirs or trying to come to Boston. I have to imagine that's probably what they're doing.
That makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. Listen, like you talk about, again, if you've been to Hoboken, Green Rock and Tysons, Arizona are like staples. They're gonna make money. Should I probably tear down the TVs at Texas because it's a true sports bar and put them a little better TVs in? Should I maybe put it a little bit cooler things that could make it a sports bar even better? Yeah, I could, but it's still going to make however many millions in 2024 if I do or don't do that. But could I go buy 2 more restaurants without that and just take the money and go do that? Yeah, I could do that. And I'm gonna be wealthier. I'm gonna do better. I'm gonna have more income to come in. Like there's that way is so much better and advances my life so much more than me making some minor And again, keep in mind, I do say minor in reference to these players they want to bring in outside of Shohei Ohtani. They're not. It's not real dollars to John Henry. I mean, what he's doing is you're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars that's going to be created here when he's talking about hiring developers, when he's talking about building all these properties, when he's talking about putting in, hopefully I consume a couple restaurants around there. Like when you're doing all that, there's more money than you can fathom that's going into this. Buying a player, buying Yamamoto, huh?
Us.
Yeah, we, of course. My apologies.
Yeah.
But yeah, like buying Yamamoto to put him on your if I'm John Henry, like as long as the business seems sound and we're going to make some money and we're going to do what we do, if maybe we lose a couple percents. I mean, it just doesn't matter. It's not even moving the needle for John. He's far more important things as far as creating wealth than investing into the Boston Red Sox. And as you can see, Liverpool, they're doing a great job over there. And he might not be able to get all the real estate around the Liverpool Stadium and in the city, and they might have a lot tougher time over there with a different type of politics and all that good stuff. And he might just take the money and reinvest in the team and try to make more money that way. But it's a business at the end of the day. He's going to try to make more and more and more and more and more money. And the city of Boston's been quite friendly to him. He's getting a ton of real estate alongside all of this. He's buying up everything. I mean, of course he's not buying players. It's not necessary for him to continue to create the wealth that he's trying to create. And that's obviously what his focus is.
I mean, as someone that lived in that area, it is kind of dead when the Red Sox are not in town. So it's like, all right, well, I guess you can go out and do that. But
you have to keep in mind, just again, this is a little bit probably too businessy, but like the real estate play, you don't make a ton in return on the real estate. A lot of times you're making, maybe 4 or 5%, especially in a city like Boston. It's already, pretty pricey. But like if he goes and buys $500 million in real estate, he might be able to go leverage that out to go take out like a $250 million loan. The real estate's going to pay off the loan, and he's going to take $250 million cash and go buy something else. And it just keeps going and going and going. He can't take out a loan at the bank on Yamamoto. That's not how that works. You can't. Yamamoto is only a liability. He is not an asset really in any way as far as the balance sheet for the Boston Red Sox. So it's apples to oranges as far as if he's trying to create wealth. The players are not the way to do that for him. He's going to go do this, and then I would imagine in a couple of years he's going to feel a little bit of pressure. He's going to try to put a little bit of juice into this club, get the fans excited, get them to come back excited. Oh, we're going to try again for a couple of years, and then he's going to be done again. But right now he needs the cash going somewhere else, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean that was in his mind. That was probably the Devers contract, but all you did was maintain a player that was already here. You didn't add anything.
It was because
you just kept the guy here.
They felt the Wolves coming in because there was nobody left. There was nobody else. It was the last stand. And that's what it came down to Rafael Devers, despite them telling you an offseason ago that Xander Bogaerts was a priority. He was there was nothing left. He was the last person they could sign and pay, or they were looking at a roster that had no stars or nothing. And I think when you talk about what Pat just went through, and on top of it, you don't have to face the media. You don't have to take questions. You walk in 20 minutes late to Craig Breslow's press conference. You didn't care to show up to Devers, right? Like you don't have to talk to the media. And that's where I look at someone like Robert Kraft this past week, and, not to cross sports here. That guy, his organization has gone through a major shakeup this year. They have changed their front office structure, and the fan base is angry and rabid. 3 things you can connect all the Red Sox fans right now. What did he do? He went up to the podium after, he did the whole statement bullshit with Belichick and took questions. Stood right up there. He was also at the table with Gerard Mayo again today, but just took questions. You ask about the future of the team. Fucking 80-year-old man doing that. He's taking them. Jonathan Kraft, his son, isn't sitting up there. He doesn't have Tom Warner going around and taking the bullets, or Sam Kennedy like John Henry does. No, Robert Kraft went in front of people. And even if you disagree with how he's gone about things, you think maybe he's meddled too much. However, I'm not going to get into football takes here. He went up there and he took it and he gave you legit transparency and answers. And I think that's why just some of that stuff alone. Now, all of a sudden, we hear that Tom Warner, Craig Breslow, Sam Kennedy, and Alex Cora are all going to meet with the media before the Winter Weekends event starts on Friday night. That just comes out today. It's no surprise because it is a friggin' embarrassing look to see that guy go up there and take those questions, take those bullets. Well, yeah, now you're going to send them out. But still, the guy in the number 1 chair in John Henry has a scheduling conflict. Last time I checked, John Henry, all of this is his. He owns the friggin' Red Sox. You're telling me you didn't have time to plan or figure this out or do it one way? Of course you did. But you remember what happened a year ago when you were on stage with them, Jared. They all remember it. So I think they're going to try, and I don't think it's a surprise that Breslow and Werner's comments come out back to back. No shocker there. They're trying to set the tone. They've already kind of put their hands on or their cards on the table and said, all right, everything you guys have been saying for the last month, it's true. It's right. Eventually we have to own up to it. And now they're going to just do the same with the media and let this final blow come and go before winter weekend starts. And now in that event, Jared, I don't know if you saw this before the podcast started, no cameras allowed. In the theater or whatever they fucking call it there, no cameras allowed inside. Cotillo just tweeted it out.
Like they can't even, what are they going to treat it? Like one of the comedy club things where they like
phone?
put your, yeah, is that what they're going to do?
Stock.
I'll read it to you right here. Hold on. Oh, did he delete it? I tweeted it out a minute ago. Whatever it was, there was a mention. It was just details on the whole winter weekend, and it mentioned no cameras allowed. Oh, here we go. 2024 Red Sox welcome event at the Mass Mutual Center Arena, 6 to 8 p.m. Cameras are not allowed to shoot inside the arena during the welcome event.
That's because of Papelbon. He's
going to say some shit.
Yeah. The note about cameras is because this is a media notice, not a public one. They're asking other TV stations not to have cameras in there because it's a Nesson exclusive event as always. It's not like they're taking phones at the door. Okay.
So can you record? It's just, they're advising you not to.
I mean, they're not going to stop. It's Red Sox fans. Like, yeah. I was going to say, like, if they were taking phones like they do at the comedy clubs, then, oh my God. But if it's just like, okay, you can't be like Channel 7 can't go in there and film.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me hit this read because we got Pat's picks.
Yeah.
And we're not done with this Red Sox talk. I want to get Pat out of here. I know he's got to tend to his lovely girlfriend, Avery.
I do. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Love you,
Beautiful
Avery.
girl. Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Continue.
I'm back in therapy, by the way. I took a 1-year hiatus. It wasn't because I was better. It was because I was busy. It had nothing to do with any sort of recovery in terms of mental health. It was simply
recovery.
Yeah, no. It was simply because I just didn't have time with my schedule. So I was like, listen, I gotta put food on the table for my kids. Same thing is why I'm not going to cancel my season tickets. Same reason why I'm still going to go to Fenway. And same reason why I'm still going to watch this godforsaken baseball team. You got to provide. Got to be a provider. And that's why I wasn't in therapy. You got to prioritize your mental health. It's very important. And you can do that with BetterHelp. And around New Year's, we get obsessed with how to change ourselves instead of just expanding on what we're already doing right. Maybe you finally organize one part of your space and you want to tackle another. Or maybe you're taking your supplements every morning and now you want to actually eat breakfast too. Therapy helps you find your strengths so you can ditch the extreme resolutions and make changes that actually stick. For me, I feel like I went and I haven't told you this, Pat. I've been doing a 7-day split with the gym just to give myself something to do every day. Because if there's a day during the off season where I have to just wake up and I have nothing to do that day, I'm not getting out of bed. And if I don't get out of bed, then now my meal schedule's thrown off. Now I haven't had breakfast, so I guess I'm going to have like a late lunch, and now I'm eating dinner at like 10 p.m. And how depressing is that, eating dinner at 10 p.m. by yourself?
Yeah, I can't have that.
So it's just about creating a little routine for yourself and having things to work on. I've also been reading some books this off season, Patrick.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Been doing a little. Are you a reader?
I go through spurts, sprees. I'm a visual guy. I like to do that stuff. But every now and again, I like to read. It makes me feel like
pornography.
Even if I'm not reading. Did you say pornography?
Yeah.
No.
I'm just asking.
No.
Visual. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Avery.
Yeah, Avery.
But I'm just saying, if you're thinking about starting therapy, you better give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Celebrate the progress that you've already made. Visit betterhelp.com/Jared today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/Jared, JARED. Check them out.
You know what would be I got my marketing brain going right now. You know what would be an unbelievable marketing campaign for BetterHelp?
What's up?
If they figured out a way with the Boston Red Sox to sponsor your 2 seats, your season tickets, and have like BetterHelp on there, because you kind of said they were therapy places for you.
Yeah.
That would be a really, and then when you're not using them, maybe someone can go use them. Mm-hmm. Not that they need to talk to somebody, but maybe they don't have anybody to go to. They can they can sit BetterHelp and send somebody. The amount of times that thing would get taken, because this podcast is pretty big. The amount of times that picture of those seats and BetterHelp would be on Instagram throughout the season would be, I think, well worth, depending on how much it costs, be well worth the money.
Yeah, I think that'd be an outstanding idea.
Outstanding idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's Fenway is very therapeutic for me, but I supplement it with real therapy.
Yeah. I can tell you it wasn't very therapeutic for me when I played.
Dramatic.
The exact opposite.
It's therapeutic for me.
No.
Whoa. What do you mean?
When I was playing?
Yeah, to watch you pitch, it was therapeutic for me.
You know how stressful that was?
to pitch for the Red Sox?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Just that one game. All the other
the Angels game.
Yeah. All the other game was fine.
Yeah. The other game. Yeah, pitching for the Red Sox, it's some people can handle it.
Some people can't.
Yeah. But I thought you handled it well.
Thank you. I will say I absolutely loved, I know I've told the story, but I love the lady on the field prior to the game when we chatted, and because I was seeing my family, and then she struck a conversation with me, and she said, she's like, good luck tonight. I was like, yeah, don't boo me. And her response in classic Boston way was, well, don't suck then. And I was like, sure enough.
Well, don't suck and we won't have to boo you. That's a fair request.
I think it was very fair.
Mm-hmm.
Very fair. I didn't follow through with my what I told her I wouldn't do, but she definitely, I would imagine, followed through with what she said she'd do.
Unmercifully.
People were not very nice to me. However, I will say you were very nice. Oh, very nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were. It was weird with that one person cheering.
Yeah, I was standing up and cheering, and I remember sending out a tweet that said, "We'll get him next time, Pat." Pat.
Yeah, Pat. That was a tough game.
Yeah, that was. But I needed to give some words of encouragement.
No, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, get him next time.
Mixed in all the death threats of Twitter, I saw the one thing from Jared saying, better luck next time. Go get him.
Yeah. Since Pat's here, and we need to get you off to Avery. Mm-hmm. But before you do that, in Pat's picks.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, how are we not going to have Pat Light on the show without doing a little fucking Pat's picks? Am I right, Jake? Jesus Christ. This guy, when's the last time you did Pat's picks? You know what? I actually, I was doing some brainstorming about Pat's picks for this episode. Do you want to hear some of the ideas that I had written down that you almost had to do?
Yeah, I'd actually love to, because I got a text almost immediately from a buddy of mine who listens to the show. And he saw your tweet.
Yeah.
And he was saying, oh, listen, this is good for you. I was like, yeah, well, if I didn't find out in real time when you just found out, maybe a little bit of heads up would have been nice. But
yeah,
that's the name Redacted Pod we have.
Listen. I mean, there's a lot of times where we did Pat's picks where I gave you a week's notice and it still didn't make a difference. Like, you didn't do any research at all. So the fact that you actually did research for this one, this is big.
Yeah, this is huge. I'm pretty proud of this list too. I'm definitely it's a little controversial. Yeah, not as controversial as the vacuum.
Sure,
but a little controversial. But no, I'm excited for this.
Big. You almost had to do top 10 battles of World War II. that was almost the winner. I had that literally typed out on Twitter, almost hit send, and I was like, what else? There's got to be something else. Top 10 rom-coms of the last 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Top 5 would be nicer, by the way.
Top 10 reasons why sex work should be legal. Yep.
That'd be a fun one.
Yeah. Top 10 things that are legal that should be illegal.
I like it the other way.
Okay.
Better.
Top 10 things are illegal that should be legal.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And top 10 smells. Top 10 smells. I didn't know
Top
where
10
you were going to go. Yeah. I didn't know where you were going to go for top 10 smells. We can always go back to that at some point. This is obviously not going to be your last time on the show. And then obviously, you know, when people submit their own ideas for Pat's picks. But then top 10 N64, that was my idea. I was just like,
that's great.
Yeah. So I was like, this is a place where Pat's going to feel comfortable. And as you know, we discussed previously to you coming on the show, I remember we FaceTimed during COVID where you played Nintendo 64 while you handed your phone off to, I believe, your sister.
Yeah.
You were just like, I'm playing Mario Kart. So you talked to Jared and I watched you play Mario Kart for like half hour via FaceTime. That COVID times, man, those were just different. You could just, it was like, we can't hang out with each other. So like, let's FaceTime for hours and hours. That's what people did.
Yeah. That was a good time too. I was pretty drunk there. Very. It was a good time. Yeah. It was a great time.
Yeah. So without further ado, Pat's picks top 10 Nintendo 64 games. And boy, you're going to want to stick around for number 5.
Yes. Sure. Number 5. You're going to want to stick around for that. Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10, by the way.
Yeah.
We're starting number 10. One that I'm very excited about because I had to remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Which is not usually a good start. But I think, Jared, you're going to enjoy this one. Specifically, Jared's going to enjoy this one.
Slugfest?
No.
Ken Griffey Jr.?
I'm not going to give away any spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers. No spoilers.
But I will give one spoiler away for those folks at home knowing this is a baseball podcast. Yep. I only had one baseball N64 game. And it's not any of the ones that you all love. So tough start. Anyway, starting at number 10, I had to recreate the beginning music in my head in order to remember what this was called. But it is none other than WCW Mayhem from Electronic Arts.
Yeah.
I loved that. I remember being Sting all the time in that game. Yeah. It was a fantastic game. It's the only wrestling game I ever had. I think Goldberg was on the cover, if I remember correctly.
The cover. He's screaming.
It's awesome. Great game. And I still have it to this day. I haven't played it in quite some time. And I did play it a couple of years back, and I only remembered how to slap people. But I remember if you slap them, they can't do anything. You just got to keep slapping them, and eventually you beat them.
That's the beginning of the game.
They don't make game music like this anymore.
No, they don't. This is very 90s. WCW Mayhem from Electronic Arts.
What a great game.
Great game.
Coming in at number 9.
Coming in at number 9. Now, this is part of more than a trilogy, but it's not the first one or the second one. However, most seemingly have enjoyed this more than any of the others. We have Mario Party 3. Phenomenal game, specifically when you realize that there's a mini game area where you don't have to play the actual board game that takes entirely too long.
Sure.
You unlock all the mini games, you just go in there and you play, and that is a real delight. I've done it drinking. I've done it drinking. It's a great game. Just a well-rounded game with good enough mini games where you can still do it as an adult. Go ahead, Jared.
I just question for the listeners for context purposes. Every game in the top 10, have you played?
Yes.
Okay, and did you own all these games?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just asking.
Yeah. So that I will do 1 second, Tyler. I will call on you though. But the one thing I will say, a little disclaimer, and this is why I know this is going to be controversial. This is why I know I'm going to get some heat.
Yeah.
Is because I can only rate games that I had, and I did go through the Twitter. I did go through the top 50 or so N64 games on Google, and a lot of them which have been mentioned on Twitter, I'd never even played. So I don't know them. So there are going to be some that are left out that people are upset about. But that's, listen, if Pat's picks isn't controversial, I'm not doing my job. So that's just kind of where we're at.
We're here for controversy.
The first 2 games, I've noticed a slight consistency that you've played both drunk or intoxicated. Did you play these games drunk as a child? Is it only as an adult?
No. As an adult, I can tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
the whole list.
About 7 of the 10 games I have played inebriated.
Okay. I would just like you to clarify when you announce them.
Yeah. I'll let you know because it's a far shorter list. I'll let you know which ones I have not played inebriated.
Thank you.
Number 8 does not fall on that list. Number 8, folks. Number 8, I have played inebriated, and if this is and you guys are gonna have to help me with the other game that most people know it as. I think it's the game that's right after this, but this game came with the N64 originally that it was gifted to us. I can't recall if it came with N64, if it was just my parents added that to the gift type of thing. As we got it for Christmas back in 94, definitely later than that, 95. But anyway. It was NBA Hang Time. If you remember, it was a 2-on-2 game. I don't remember what it was called. I played it actually, not to name drop, but I played it with Joe Mauer out in Minnesota. It was in a
Future Hall of Famer.
And I had to take his shots. Not the shooting, not the NBA shots, like shooting in the game, like his liquor. He didn't want to drink it. So we were doing it with
that didn't take much convincing from you.
No, I was the one that purchased the shots. So, I bought shots for everybody to play while we were playing. The game was a 2-on-2 thing, and Joe was on my team, and he was just like, "Yeah, let's play," but definitely not going to drink those. So I was like, "All right, I'll do it. Don't worry." But NBA Hang Time, great game, 2-on-2, team fire, lasts up 25 seconds, fantastic game, and you can create your own player, which I quite enjoyed making, like a 7'6" gentleman who could just absolutely smoke the 3-ball. So.
There you go.
I love that game.
This was off the NBA Jam line, right? Like it was
the
that
NBA
style.
Jam. That's it.
Okay.
NBA Jam. That was like, yes, that's what everyone kind of references. Because when I always say it, they always say it's NBA Jam. But yes, NBA Hang Time. For those of the folks that remember that. Okay. Number seven. I have also played inebriated. Again, another one that falls under that list. NFL Blitz.
Yeah. This is pretty fucking low down the list, I feel like.
There are some really good games, Jared. Just
I know
listen
there's some
to
really
the list.
good listen, hey, listen, I'm just happy it made the list. It is, I mean, if you weren't throwing da bomb, then you weren't trying to,
but if you do I don't know if it's slip screen, I forget what it is, but it works every single time. But the cheerleaders in between when they're giving you the hints, they are magnificent.
Yes, big time.
But really
my favorite thing on the loading page was always
Flood Slit, by the way. Flood Slit, that's the play. Flood Slit was the play. Yeah.
On the loading page, you could just like make up a bunch of shit, and it was for codes. But you could just go and like fake it. And then sometimes it would actually work.
Yes.
And next thing you know, it's like a fucking blizzard. And you're like, oh shit, I put in the fucking blizzard code. Didn't realize.
Yes. But if you are down 1 score and you are on the the other side of the field in the other end zone, you are never out of the game because they can throw it full field. There's a good chance that you catch that ball. So
who is the team that you always played with?
I bounced around a little bit, but I never did.
I was the same team every time.
What team?
Broncos.
So I was Steve McNair with the Titans. I loved McNair.
Okay.
Loved McNair. Who was was it Elway?
Yeah, it was Elway, Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
Oh man.
Bill Romanowski.
This was so much more fun. Being a kid was way better.
The best.
Number six falls into the category of a game actually. Yeah, falls into the category of a game I have not played inebriated.
So you lied? Oh, okay. All right.
No, there's 3 games on this list that I have not played inebriated. This being one of them.
Yep.
And that is a blue game. If you know where I'm headed with this, folks, it was a blue game, and it was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Ooh.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater, phenomenal game.
Tony Hawk was on N64?
Oh, you bet your ass he was.
I thought that was a PlayStation exclusive. I only played Tony Hawk on PlayStation.
I can confirm. I'm looking at it.
Yeah. Wow. Was it not blue, Tyler?
No, it was blue. 100%. You nailed it, Pat.
Yeah. Oh, listen, guys. Yeah.
I mean, I played Tony Hawk all day, every day.
Me too. It was awesome.
But I played it on PlayStation. But I was an N64 kid. I didn't realize that it was an N64 game.
Yeah, it's disappointing you didn't know. However, I will say I never got PlayStation, like the original one. So I was late to that game. So maybe you just transitioned out of N64 before
I just had both. My friend, my best friend growing up was
okay.
Well, no. My best friend growing up was a PlayStation guy. I was an N64 guy. So it's like, oh, all right, you have this system, I have that system. And then we would just kind of like, we would play PlayStation at his house and N64 at my house.
Okay.
I got Tony Hawk Underground 2. I stole it from Blockbuster. I took it home and I never ever gave it back, and I never went back to that Blockbuster.
I bet you.
Wow, you're a thief.
A little bit, yes, but it's mine. I still own it.
There's got to be. I'm gonna look right now before we move on.
I think my next pick is my most controversial, which is number 5. Crazy, how Jared just knew that.
Is it really?
Yeah, definitely.
What a fucking soundtrack this was.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Great song.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's childhood.
Wow. I mean, I'm a Primus fan, so I listen to this song all the time. But like, this is such a fucking Tony Hawk song.
Oh my
Wow. What song is this? This is not ringing a bell. Wow. I would say as far as Tony Hawk songs go, this is the one that...
Yes. 100%.
This is a Tony Hawk.
Yes.
Like, I can just see...
Jared, did you have to break the glass when you started your round?
Go down. Yeah.
Yes. I can just see myself breaking the glass right now and trying to figure out how to grind on those damn railings.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I mean, I've never... I can't tell you that I've heard that song ever instead of just playing.
Yeah, no.
Great song.
Great song. All right, folks, for my most controversial pick. Now, I think this is more a near and dear to me type of thing. Mm-hmm. It also came with the N64. It is a good game. It's 100% a good game. I would imagine that most of you liked it if you played it.
Yeah.
The reason I pick it, I'm going to give a little bit of an explanation prior to the pick. The reason why I picked it here is because it was like more of a storyline game. Yeah. And I played it so much. Like I can tell you exactly the route I would take, all of that good stuff within the game. So it's just like one of those games you played a ton and you happened to grow fond of it. It was also a huge sick day or snow day game for me. So right in the beginning of getting N64 is one of the few games we had. So me and my brother would fake sick and want to play it during one of the days. So
got it.
Number 5, folks. Number 5, and it's the one game I mentioned on Twitter. Star Fox.
I fucking love Star Fox.
Great game.
One of my very close friends, who I think he was there the night that we had the watch party. My friend Tommy. I call him Fox McCloud, and he calls me Falco Lombardi. Like when I gave him a Christmas present this year, the tag said to McCloud from Lombardi.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's funny. My college baseball coach, I always thought reminded me of Pepe.
Ah, Pepe. Yeah. Yep.
What was the girl? The frog, Froggy?
Something.
She was useless.
Yeah.
She was. Anytime you remember the planet where you have to go on the rover. You're on the ground. She never helped you from above. Never helped you from above.
Slippy Toad.
Slippy. Yeah.
Slippy. She
Toad.
Never helped you from above. It was always Falco and Pepe coming in hot.
Yeah, Falco. That's why he calls me Falco, is because I always got his back.
All right. And one of the reasons I want to bring this one up.
Yeah.
Did you guys, Tyler and Jake? Did you play this game?
I did not. I was not a Star Fox kid.
I didn't play
Jake?
Star Fox either. No.
Okay, so Jared, I guess this will be directed towards you.
Sure.
So you're looking at the map of all the planets.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You get now before you get to the last level, last planet. There's a planet up top. It is off to the left. I could never figure out a route on how to get to that planet.
No, but I will say this, as I am like a big TikTok viewer, not really a poster, but definitely a viewer. I follow a few accounts where all they do all day long is stream themselves playing N64 games. And this one guy plays Star Fox a lot. So like I like watch him play Star Fox. Like I did that like yesterday.
That's awesome. I love Star Fox. I got to play that again.
Yeah.
Okay, now top 4 are 4 just juggernauts.
Bangers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're bangers. They're absolute bangers.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, dependent on your childhood, they probably are all interchangeable to a degree.
Yeah.
Because they're just, it's going to be dependent on what you kind of vibed with the most.
I know 3, but I'm trying to think of what the 4, like if this is like the Mount Rushmore of N64 games, like you have to have Super Mario, Mario Kart, the original Mario Party and GoldenEye. Are those
so no. I'm subbing one of those out.
Pokemon
and
Snap.
I mentioned it pre-show. And
so wait, are you having a Mario Party 3 be fucking Super Smash? I'm an idiot. All right, yeah. So did you fucking leave Super Smash Brothers off? Pat, what the fuck, dude?
Totally
Super Smash Brothers is like that's a Mount Rushmore N64
That's a Mount
game.
Rushmore. That's a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That's a faux pas. That's a vacuum. That's a vacuum.
Do you want to you have to kick a game off? Like you can kick the basketball game off.
Yeah. Smash Bros is over. And the thing is, here's the thing. And again, this is to each their own, folks. So you know what? I'm going to stand by my list.
No.
Hold on, Jared. Jared,
no,
please. Please.
No.
I know this is your show, but please, one moment, please.
Go ahead, please.
Listen, I said pre-list.
It's going to be controversial.
That it's going to be controversial, and it's based off your own childhood preferences and what you played.
But
I never played Super Smash Bros. Until an adult level.
And did you play that version, or did you play it on a different console?
No, I played on N64.
I only knew Melee. Melee's the first one I played.
Pat, you know what? I'm glad that we listened to the Tony Hawk soundtrack.
Yeah. I
think a lot of people listening right now probably in the same boat as me, where they recognize it as a PlayStation game anyway. Like, you've got to sub something out to get Super Smash. Like, this list is going to burn to the ground if people see that Super Smash Brothers is not on the list. I'm telling you right now.
Listen, Jared. What is this called? What is this segment called? Pat's Picks. Is it called Name Redacted Picks? Is it called, Listeners Picks? It is not called Listeners Picks. We didn't vote. We didn't poll the audience.
Crazy omission.
This is Pat's Picks, and I stand by this, and I will continue to stand by this, and I look forward to the release of this episode, and me to stand by this on Twitter.
Pat, can I just say this?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want. Yeah, go ahead.
It's Pat's Picks. It's not Pat's childhood picks. So you played it in your lifetime, and you probably had an awesome time. Did you not?
I had a good time. You know what, though? I'd have a tough time because of how much more fun my childhood is and how much more fun I have played these games while being a child than being an adult. Listen, it's going to be difficult to put Smash Bros. on this. All you do is you go beat Kirby or something. You get kicked the people the whole time.
No, you're the one that made the childhood criteria. That was not part of this.
I stand by.
This is
I stand by my picks.
I support you, Pat. You got mine.
I stand by. I stand by. I stand strong. And that hashtag stand strong with Pat. That's going to be a hashtag. That's going to be trending tomorrow. Stand strong with Pat. Listen,
people are going to be pissed about this.
Yeah, they are. But this is where we are. This is where we are now, guys. Number four.
Number four.
So we're excited about number 4 and the rest of this list.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is Zelda, the Ocarina. Is that what you pronounce it? Ocarina of Time.
You know what? I know that you're not like a big wrestling fan.
No, I'm not.
But
Jake, can you mute Jared, please?
I'm going to just use a comparison. So the 2014 Royal Rumble, everyone wanted Daniel Bryan to appear in this Rumble and win it so that he could go on to main event WrestleMania. And as it kept going, everyone's like, where's Daniel Bryan? What the fuck? Where's Daniel Bryan? And then it got to number 30 and it was 3, 2, 1. And 30 is the last entrant of the Royal Rumble. And Rey Mysterio's music hit. And then the crowd was just like, because they wanted Daniel Bryan. So you saying number 4, Zelda, a game that you didn't even play. I think you're lying. I don't think you played Zelda.
No, I played that game.
It was hard. I quit playing Zelda as a kid because I couldn't read.
I feel like John Henry right now.
This is what he usually plays when I talk.
I should leave so I don't have to face the media.
Go ahead. Go talk about Zelda.
Listen, Zelda's fantastic. A fantastic game. It's one for the ages. And listen, I don't hear the boos.
Stop attacking childhood Pat.
Yeah, stop attacking. Anywho, moving on. Number three. And now I'm happy I put this at number 3 because Jared's not going to like it that I put it at number 3, but this is where it belongs because I'm sticking to my guns. And number 3, Jared, can you please take your hand off the boo button? Jared, can I see your hands, please?
Other hand up.
Other hand, please. Now leave it there. No, Jared. It is number 3. We have GoldenEye.
At number 3?
That is like most people's favorite.
This is like... You could make the case. I even said to you before you did the list, I said GoldenEye can't be any lower than 2. Like, it should be number 1, but I understand, like, Mario Kart is number 1. Like, everyone plays Mario Kart no matter what. Yeah. Like, that's got to be number 1. But GoldenEye can't be lower than 2.
And listen, I'm going to give you good rationale, just some good sense here. I'm going to give you a healthy dose of sense here, Jared. Yeah. A healthy dose of sense. And we're going to start with that sense when I name number 2. And the reason being is it's going to be all encompassing. Number 2 is the original Super Mario, an unbelievable game that not only children played, but adults of all ages played that game. Adults of all ages did not play GoldenEye. In fact, Papa Light asked me he would trade out any game I wanted on the market at the current moment when GoldenEye came out for me to get rid of GoldenEye and get this new game. Any game I wanted, possibly 2 games.
Were they afraid that you're going to be like a school shooter or something?
Well, I mean, I was 8 and I was seeing blood drip down the thing. So I could see why they might think it's a school shooter.
What is that, a purse?
No, it's not a purse. It's a 3DS.
Oh, yeah.
What? You have a Switch, don't you?
No, not yet. I'm going to get one, though.
I have a Switch.
I got a Switch.
Pat,
I got a Switch. I don't Switch. Yeah, I don't play. I don't play.
I'm gonna play it in here. Like, this is like gonna be my video game room.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, like this. So like my setup right now is very different from the one that I had before. It's the same room, but my setup that I'm using now is I have a 65-inch TV that I'm looking at you guys on, and then underneath it is like a little shelf that the camera sits on. But I can just take that camera off, put a fucking switch there, and then I can play video games in here.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Just live stream yourself playing. You know how many people would tune in?
Jake, you can play Super Smash Bros.
But the good one, Melee.
I don't know what that is. There's only one.
Anyway, number 1, folks, and we all know where we're going. It is the greatest game. And Jared, can you please, once again, take your hand off the booing button? But number 1, it is an undisputed champ, Mario Kart.
That's the correct pick. Yeah.
It's the correct pick. Yeah, it's real. I honestly, listen, I stand by Super Smash Bros. Because it was not a part of my childhood, and I only played it a handful of times.
You shouldn't stand
and
by
honestly,
that.
like the first time I played it was like in high school. It just wasn't a game that was very important in my childhood. Mario Kart was huge. Super Mario was huge. GoldenEye was huge. Zelda. I mean, all of these games, one after the other, I just consistently played. I can't put a game in there just to please the audience. I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to stay true to myself. That's how life is right now, folks.
That's it.
Thank you, Tyler.
He deserves an applause. Hit the button, Jared.
No.
Oh,
hit the button.
Hit
the button.
Hit it. Why can't you listen? You're gonna defy everything.
He's someone that made his own rules for a list where the rules were established.
It's his list.
Like he made the childhood criteria when that criteria didn't exist.
Well, hold on there, cowboy. Let me ask you a question here. Pat's picks is all encompassing of Pat. I don't. You didn't tell me that there has to be only adult Pat.
You made it. No. I didn't say just adult Pat, but you made it Pat. You made it Pat's childhood picks. That's what you did.
No, I said that because of the fun I had in my childhood, it outweighs the game I played in my adulthood. That was,
but you still played it.
Honestly, if we're being honest, mediocre at best.
Mediocre
at best. If we're being honest, mediocre at best.
Fuck
this guy. Why do you ruin it?
That was so bad. That's a bad take, dude. That's a bad take.
Listen,
that's a bad take.
You want to be hated.
Yeah. This is gonna be a fun day tomorrow on social media.
Yeah, people are gonna be pissed. You know what you should do? Make a fucking TikTok using clips from this show. Just be like, here's my list, and I'm here to defend it. Who wants to smoke? And everyone, the internet is gonna come for you.
No. They're going to understand, and there'll be people with me.
Oh, no.
I'll even promote the post. Let's get some more people in there.
I'll even promote it. I mean, there's just no way that there is a community of people on the internet that's like, yeah, I had an N64 when I grew up, and I hated Super Smash Brothers.
At no point in time did I say that. Please do not.
That's how it feels. You just call it mediocre. That means
you said you didn't play it as a kid, right, Pat?
Not even a single time.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
What happened? You didn't have friends?
Oh.
No, I had plenty of friends. They didn't
have Super Smash Brothers?
Listen, I was outdoors playing, getting ready for my big league career. Listen, we're not all cooped up inside playing video games. We're getting ready to make sure we make an investment in myself so that I can have an 11 career array, finish, leave my baseball career, get tweeted at by a young man that just consistently says mean things about me, join his podcast, leave his podcast, start my own podcast, go into the restaurant business, and then come back on the podcast once every so often to talk about video games in which I'll get booed for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was doing in my childhood.
Listen,
setting the stage.
Back then, that was kind of like that's how you like establish dominance in your friend group. Like you would play Super Smash Brothers by yourself for hours and hours and hours to continue to get better. And then when you would play against your friends, you would just beat the fuck out of your friends and be like, yeah, like I'm the alpha of this group. Like I always win in Super Smash Brothers. Like I'm the tribal chief of this group. And that's how I cut my teeth, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, that was Mario Kart and GoldenEye for me.
Well, GoldenEye was just my friends wouldn't play me in GoldenEye. I was too good.
Slappers only.
Yeah.
Golden gun, proximity
automatic.
mines.
Yeah.
Desert Eagle.
I've told this story a million times for years, but there is a gentleman in my hometown of Saugus who has my signature tattooed on his ass because at a house party in 2008, there was an N64 set up at this house party, and I said, I will bet you I can kill you 10 times before you can kill me once. And he said, bet. And now he's got my signature on his ass.
It's unfortunate for that gentleman.
That's GoldenEye. But yeah, what was the other one that you said? Oh, Mario Kart. Mario Kart was like, that's probably where my anxiety issues developed, was playing Mario Kart.
I'm amazing at Mario Kart.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Especially the drinking version.
Yeah, we should. How do you like you can play like I'm not well versed in video games these days, but like we could play Mario Kart like online.
Yeah,
with the Switch.
We all could play. I own it.
Can we play GoldenEye online?
I don't. Maybe. You're probably. I'm guessing there's an updated version you could play on Switch. I just don't know if it has online capabilities.
You got to imagine everything that they do nowadays, and you would have to imagine people that are our age still into video games. That would draw a huge crowd.
Huge
crowd. Like
Jake, do you know?
I don't know about GoldenEye, but we can definitely do Mario Kart, Mario Party.
Oh,
other ones.
Hold on. What? GoldenEye 007, 007, however you say it, returns for Nintendo Switch Online. Yeah, I don't think you can play it online.
It's a miss. It's a miss on NCC.
You can't
Nintendo.
play it online.
Oh, play the 4-player multiplayer mode locally or online and enjoy first-person competitive action with the split-screen multiplayer mode.
On GoldenEye?
Yes.
You betcha.
All right, then I'm purchasing it. Do you have a Switch? Like I know that there's like a handheld version and then there's like a console version.
It's all
Do
the
you guys
same
have
thing.
a console?
It's all the same thing. You just hook it up with like an HDMI cord to make it a console.
Oh, it's the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, lock it up.
We can play Pokemon together.
Oh no, dude. I'm learning.
Oh man.
All right. Well, we kept you 45 minutes later than we told you we were going to.
Yeah, 2 hours. Every time I come on here, I feel like I should say, hey, Jared, I only got 15 because I always stay longer than I say I'm going to stay.
We would cancel on you.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. If you said you only had 15, we would cancel on you for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
What's the threshold? What's the bare minimum?
30? Yeah, probably. I mean, like when Giolito came on, I said, how much time do you have? And he's like, well, how much time do you want? And I was like, I don't know. Like, is 30 too much? He's like, yeah, I can do 30. And I was like, all right, fuck you. Then we're going to do 45. And he's like, okay. That's the direct quote. I said, all right, fuck you. Then we're going to do 45. And then I think he stayed for like an hour.
Yeah. People have way more time than they lead on.
Yeah. And it's usually like if you're having fun, then you're having fun. Did you have fun, definitely. Pat?
I had a great time. And I'm going to have more fun tomorrow.
Yeah, no, when that list comes out, you're definitely going to get bullied. Jake, did you get all of his picks?
Got all 10.
Did you, at any point, did you get confused about some shuffling around? Like, are we good on like where Pat stands on these picks? Do you want to like run them by Pat just to be sure?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% confident, but if we want to run through them, Pat, we got.
You're 100% confident. I'm 100% confident.
Yeah. All right, then we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we're good here. Yeah.
No, I'm excited.
You trust Jake. I trust Jake.
I don't necessarily trust Jake.
Why? Continue. I like this.
Keep going.
Keep going.
No.
Trust me?
Why don't you trust Jake? Jake's the most trustworthy person I know.
Ever since, listen, because I've told this story before. Ever since that one time, I'm sure Jared was making fun of me in some capacity.
I've never made fun of him.
No, never once. Tyler must have been the one making fun of me.
Yeah. It was Tyler.
Tyler was on the show making fun of me. And again, because everyone here and everyone at home knows who produces the shows, who produces the clips, we were doing, zoom ins, right? We're zooming in on me, zooming in on Tyler, whoever's talking. And in the middle of Tyler making fun of me, we just cut to Jake, who cut to himself laughing about making fun of me. So, no, I got to be honest with you. I don't trust Jake. I look forward to seeing this clip. I'm sure it's going to be very well done. But listen, that's a
little vain of you to think that Jake was laughing at you. What if he was laughing at something else?
So he cut to himself laughing about something not relevant to what was being talked about. Seems like it's something that wouldn't be done.
That's the beauty of editing, is you can do shit like that.
Okay, well, listen.
I just feel like
at the very least, Jared, if he was laughing about something else, at the very least, he wanted people to think that he was laughing at me.
I guess. So, it's just plausible deniability is all I'm trying to create.
This is where we are. I'm excited about tomorrow. And for those folks that are listening currently, I'm currently very excited about today. If you're listening in the afternoon, I've probably given up responding to people on Twitter. But here we are. I'm excited, and I'll see you on TikTok.
You don't tweet a lot as much anymore. Like usually if I tweet about you, I have to like send you the tweet in a text to make sure that you even see it.
Yeah, no, I'm very rarely on Twitter. I'm more of I love TikTok. I like talking more than I like writing.
Yeah.
I don't like enjoy writing all that much. I'm more like a dialogue person. So
we're still your wallpaper.
Yeah, of course. Nothing's going to change there. But yeah, no, I'm more of I'm a TikTok, and I'm a LinkedIn guy. LinkedIn,
worst kind of people.
Yeah, well, I got. Do you remember the name? He never was a Pro Ball guy, so you definitely don't know him, Jared. But he played at Stanford with Appel. Guy by the name of Sahil Bloom. He's really like gung ho on like the motivation and all the paradoxes in the world, stuff like that. You're inundated with now on social media. But I went to dinner with him. He's done quite well for himself now, and he's doing a lot of stuff that similar stuff to what I do, not in the restaurant world, but in other industries. And he said that he's got a bunch of followers on all the different platforms, but he said that by far LinkedIn, he has the least amount on there, and by far makes the most money from the people he connects with over there. It's the most valuable platform he has as far as making money. So when
how the fuck do you make money from LinkedIn?
It's honestly, what you think about is why do you go? Not that we need to get into this on this podcast, but like, why do you go to a platform like that's like everyone is over there to try to make more money, build business connections, like all of that good stuff. And if you can kind of become a leader in the thought of your industry, which is where you'd kind of become that person, you would theoretically get more, type of business that could get drummed up. And a lot of people reach out to me every day now. Now, not all of it's good, but I get way more people reaching out to me over there to try to drum up business with me than anywhere else. And then if I do anything even remotely talking about restaurants or anything like that on Twitter, because all of my following there is baseball related, it's not worth anything.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, I probably had 100 requests in my thing, but I never put LinkedIn. I had nobody that was watching me, so I kind of build that audience the way I wanted to build it, rather than have to try to post something about restaurants and have a million people respond to me about how this isn't baseball content.
Let's see if I have any
This guy has 500K on LinkedIn. Sahil, yes.
Yeah, dude, he's got like a newsletter that he puts out to like 100,000 people each week, and like the ad space to promote in his LinkedIn and in his newsletter is thousands upon thousands of dollars each newsletter he sends out.
Yeah, it doesn't even look like a LinkedIn page at this point. It's like a website.
No.
Basically.
Yeah, dude, he got, so what happened was on Twitter, he started tweeting a little bit. And he got retweeted randomly by Tim Cook, who's the CEO of Apple, as we all know. He was on the podcast, last time I was on, and he just absolutely, he just blew up from there. Everyone was retweeting the guy. Everyone was talking about him, and so he just blew up, and he's just been inundated with business since then. And then I went to dinner with him in New York, maybe last spring or so. Yeah. And he was saying, he's like, listen, if I were to pick one platform to keep, it'd be LinkedIn. And it's just, I just can't, you almost can't stop making money over there from the people you're meeting and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, let's give it a go. I've never tried.
All I get is like scam people on LinkedIn. And I get a ton of these messages every day, but they want something for me, or they want me to sign up to an agency. Like, I don't even know who you people are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting place. You get a lot of like complete nonsense responses. Like you get a lot of people just like being super professional in their response and all that. But like I've drummed up some business from it. People have been interested in, and that's what they're there for. They're not, when they're on X, oftentimes they're there to, maybe talk their sports team or something like that. Over there, it's just, that's why they're there, to try to make money. So it's kind of a little bit better. And again, the whole thing of me not really having a following there at all, and I can kind of curate my following there the way I wanted to post baseball. Was also nice, because again, I think I have 16.1 thousand followers on X, and I think it's 16.1 thousand name redacted listeners.
I have 200 LinkedIn requests. Yeah. I check this like once every year and a half.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's necessary for someone like you or Tyler or Jake or anything. I mean, Jake may be more so than anyone as a producer. Having stuff like this on his resume could certainly help push him in other directions. I guess Jared and Tyler, because you guys are well known elsewhere. You don't necessarily need like a LinkedIn. But for someone who's a complete new industry like myself, where the other platforms pretty much only know me as a baseball player, it was a nice place for me to kind of start doing the other stuff and not just be absolutely annihilated in my comments about why I'm posting about this, which was what X turned into for me.
This is fun. Like every time I hit accept, it sounds like a Mario star. I can hear it in my headphones because I'm
put the mic up. I can't hear it. All right, I don't know if you can.
Oh, it really does. It really does. Again.
Yeah, these are all just people. I mean, like the thing that I hate. So if someone sends you a request on LinkedIn and then you accept it, but they sent you like a message, then it's like it automatically opens up the message. It's like, I don't want this person to know that I ignored them.
I don't know that it shows if you read it on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I also don't care if I read the message. I read all the messages that people send me. I answer maybe 1% of them. Like if you're just trying to get money out of me, I have no interest in connecting with you. But like if you're somebody that I think we could mutually benefit, I would respond.
Yeah, the only reason why I ever check LinkedIn is like I'm always interested to see like where they're working at. Yeah. It's like, oh, like this person works for the Tampa Bay Rays. Like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I have 87 unread messages on LinkedIn.
I know. Before I started back up on this, I got back on there, and it just happened to be around the same time. I got a bunch of congratulatory messages in 2022 about my like eighth work anniversary with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, I hate that stuff. People like when they comment on it, it's depressing. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a very fake place. But again, the kind of endorsement that Sahil gave it, and he's making that kind of money over there, I'm certainly going to give it a go. I mean, it's that, and like on the other end of it, not the business end of it, but the other end of it, supposedly like Snapchat is like a place you can make a fucking killing right now. So
Snapchat?
Yeah, dude. Apparently, it's just fucking bananas what people are what creators are making on Snapchat right now.
For what?
Dude, I don't know. They're just throwing ads in between people's in between Snap stories. But if you go on Snapchat right now, like I use Snapchat maybe once a month. But like when I go on there, like you don't even have to be following these people. It's just all the huge creators you see on all the other platforms are just there in your feed.
Like
and
current creators that are no longer popular on other platforms will still just do Snapchat. Like all the TikTok guys that no one gives a fuck anymore that were popular dancing in 2020, like that's their thing. Drama alert, like all of that.
Actually, one of the people I saw. That's the one. It's one of the things I saw was the kid Bryce Hall. Was he was I saw an art. That's how it first came up in my world. Was that I saw a video of him being interviewed, and they were like, "How much did you make last year?" type of stuff, and he didn't really give a number, but he was like, "It's far and away I'm making the most on Snapchat. It's not even close." And I was like, "Interesting. I'm not even attempting to build an audience on Snapchat, but I'm focused on TikTok and LinkedIn. Those are my two babies right now."
Yeah, like I remember, like at Barstool, like we had we had a Snapchat channel, and we would just like do like random like reactions to like videos on there. And it got to a point where like walking around Manhattan, like I would have people stop me and be like, "Oh, you're the dude from Snapchat." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
what?" I never got that. Yeah, Snapchat's big, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I love you all very much. I would like to do this more, maybe like a once a month type thing.
Hey, whenever you want. You tell me.
I'd love to do it more. I don't want to name the top 10 World War II battles, but hey, listen. You might have to. But hey, I look forward to engaging. I don't get to engage with you guys all that much on social anymore, but I feel as though there might be a ton of engagement tomorrow. So
I'm adding you on LinkedIn.
Yes, please do. Please do.
I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn.
Yes, please do. You'll see a very different version of me.
Everyone's professional. Jared's shit posting under everything you do.
My fucking I'm pretty sure that my LinkedIn bio says like certified G and a bona fide stud.
Well, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, well, listen, I look forward to connecting on LinkedIn with the certified G and the bona fide stud.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be great.
But until next time, folks, you guys have a wonderful rest of your show. I look forward to hearing. Well, I probably won't hear them, but maybe I'll see them in the clips of time more rants from Tyler.
Can't wait.
But yeah, can't wait. Look forward to engaging tomorrow on social.
Can't wait. I'll see you there, Pat.
Yep. See you guys.
Goodbye, Pat. How about a little Blue Moon?
Pour me a drink.
I mean, I've been sucking down Blue Moons for quite some time because of New Year's Eve. Did I tell you about this?
No, continue.
So I probably got about 6,000 Blue Moons for when I had people over for New Year's. And I mean, 6,000 beers is a lot. And it just, people were just like, it's not that kind of party. Like we're parents, we have kids. Like they had a few beers, but they were like, we're old now. Like we're not like ripping like we were in the late 2000s. You look like confused, Tyler.
Is this where your therapy journey started? Like, was this like the awakening point for you? Like, did they kind of put you in a place where you realized you had to change?
Yeah, they were like, whoa, dude. They're like, you're not 22 anymore. And I was like, listen, that doesn't mean that you can't have a delicious Blue Moon to ring in the new year. I guess I just overestimated how many people were coming, maybe.
6,000. That's, assuming how many people you could fit in your house, that feels a little bold.
Seems light. Yeah.
So when the clock struck midnight, you weren't kissing someone, you had your lips on a Blue Moon.
It was both.
3-way.
Yeah, I had like a Blue Moon in my left, and then a little reach over
in the mouth, like that.
It was like a wow. Yeah.
Please don't post that. Oh God, sick man.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a little Blue Moon and a smooch type night.
It's best nights you can have.
Yeah. Actually, I went to Lucky Strike in Somerville over the weekend. Plenty of name Redacted fans in the house.
Any big Tyler Milliken fans there?
No.
All right. Okay.
They were like, "Where's Jake?
All right.
What the fuck,
Jesus
dude?"
Christ. Can we just pretend?
They were
Pretend
like,
that I'm
"Where's
likable.
Jake at, bro?" No, yeah. I mean, they were like, "Tyler's not here, is he?" And I was like, "No." They were like, "Thank God."
Thank God. Oh, geez. Like I would have ruined the time.
Yeah. I still had a good time though.
I'm happy
we were
you
drinking
did.
Blue Moons. Yeah, we went to the bar, had some Blue Moons, ate some pizza, ordered some more Blue Moons, went over, played some arcade games. It was a good time. I had a good time.
Is it like an adult arcade? I don't think I've ever been to Lucky Strike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a bowling alley there's one right by Fenway.
Is it like a King's?
Kind of, but it has an arcade.
I need to go. I haven't been to Dave & Buster's in a long time. I could use something like that.
It's Dave & Buster's for adults.
We should go.
I mean, there's also a bar at yeah, let's go on a little trippy date.
I'd have a blast.
I just like you're one of those people that like you're never gonna show up.
The last time Jared has asked me to do anything was last April.
No, that's not true. That's not true because you went to the game in what, July? Was it? When did you ruin the season? August? Yeah, so that's August.
What'd you ask me to do then?
I asked you to come over and hang out with us and you said no.
You actually did the opposite.
No,
you never said a word to me. You just sent weird pictures of me.
Okay, so you knew where I was then.
No, I didn't. I was like, "Are you to my left? I can't see you." And then you were like,
then you're just an idiot. You can't. If someone sends you a video of where they are and you can't figure it out.
I was next to my friend. You don't know where I am now because I'm mysterious.
I was with Steve.
Oh, really? There's your loyalty.
Yeah.
Who's here with you right now?
Jake.
Fuck you. Jake, what's so funny? This ain't funny.
It's a funny joke.
I mean,
quit laughing. Should we get back to business?
Well, no, I'm not gonna keep talking about Blue Moon until you agree to go on a triple date.
I beg. I want to go on a date with all you guys, with your partners.
Okay.
Or just
be
us.
about that life. I know that. No,
Okay.
I know that I can call up Jake and be like, "Hey, Saturday night, let's do a double date." I know that he'll be there. If I ask you, Tyler, be like, "Hey, call Martha. We'll do a triple date." I don't know that you're going to show up.
All right. You know what? Beep, beep, beep. I'm pulling up the friend facts. When was the last time you and Jake went out together? Besides work?
Probably his birthday in 2022.
Okay, then.
Yeah, Chicago.
Well,
So
I also
fuck you
don't go
guys.
out a lot.
Oh, neither do I.
Well, we know that. That's the point. I
point-
will go out.
The reality is, we're all homebodies. We're loners.
Jake goes out.
Jake,
goes
are you out? Are you partying?
Oh, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm not.
Jake's out.
Me and you are, Jared.
Jake's out. Yeah.
So we need maybe a little push to go and spread our wings.
This is the push. This is the triple date offer.
All right, I want to go. I want to play the little Mario Kart machines. I'll sit on your lap. I'll do the wheel. I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Where are you gonna sleep over?
Sure. You have 15 rooms. The way T-Dog rolls, I'll book a hotel.
Damn, you gotta like
Well,
that.
after Dave & Buster's, you gotta lay a little pipe. Come on. I'm not taking it easy out here.
Yeah. Is that what we're doing? I don't know that's what I would even want to do.
Well, if we all played games after with our partners, I'd assume we'd want to, finish the job up.
No. I'm saying like I don't even know that I want to do like an arcade triple date. Jake, do you have any triple date ideas?
Escape room.
I've never done one before.
Ooh, I would fucking love to do a triple date escape room.
Are they?
You can have up to 8 people.
Okay.
That's what you're going to ask if that was too many?
No, is there levels of difficulty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you worried about being too dumb for one?
I don't know. It seems a little outside my regular path of thinking.
Trust me, I will guide you. I'm a good project manager for escape rooms. Jake?
Yeah, I did my first one with you. You kind of laid the groundwork for everybody.
And then we get out?
Oh, we got out, yeah.
Yeah.
They give you drinks or something?
What?
Like
it's an escape room, dude.
How long are you going to be in there? As if you're having a hard time getting out?
An hour. You get an hour.
And no drinks for an hour?
You can't go an hour without a drink?
I get warm.
You would
very
never
quickly.
last in prison.
No, definitely not.
No.
It's okay. My mom works in
I
prison.
can't. She does?
Yeah, she's a nurse.
I didn't know that.
Very in with the prisoners. Shout out my mom. They all fuck with her. Not like that. They think of her as a mother. Well, that's what she tells me. They call her mama.
That's what she tells me.
My
You know
mom's
what?
an
Shout
older
out to your mom.
lady. They respect her.
Yeah. That's good.
They don't have sex with my mom. Whoever is thinking that, shut up. I can see it on your face. Jake, you definitely thought it. The prisoners don't have sex with my mom. Don't make that a rumor. And the podcast.
I wasn't.
You were definitely, your face said
I
it.
wasn't thinking that. No. I swear I wasn't thinking that.
Come back, Pat. I like it better when his life gets exposed.
Trades, free agency, roster cuts. Baseball season feels so far away, but excitement is already building. Blue Moon gives you a dose of ballpark nostalgia without even being at the park. In fact, Blue Moon was born in a ballpark at the Sandlot Brewery in Denver, Colorado. Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience year-round. I feel like if we book an escape room, we can like do it early enough to where we can go, like maybe like we can do like a triple date. Follow me?
Yeah.
Listen,
triple date there and then like a dinner.
A triple date. So 3 couples, 3 dates.
Wow.
We go to dinner, right? That's date number 1. Then we go to an escape room. That's date number 2. And then we go out for drinks, get some Blue Moons after. So it's a triple date.
All right. Now you're cooking. And I will say it has to be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my eating day. What does that mean? Why are you looking at me like that?
It just seems like you have more than one.
No, I'm on very heavy eating restrictions now. Very heavy.
Well, I'm not. Listen, I didn't mean it how it came out.
No, you did. It's okay.
No. I just feel like you probably eat every day. So what does an eating day mean?
So instead of eating bad every day, like I used to for the first.
Oh, eating bad.
Yes.
What makes you think that we would eat bad if we went out to dinner?
Oh, I'm eating bad if we're going out to dinner. What's the whole point of going out to a restaurant?
I don't know. Get a fucking salad, dude.
Oh, fucking spare me. Well, let's not waste some time here. It's tenders, it's something, beer, whatever it may be. But now, instead of eating bad every day of the week, I eat bad all day from the moment Saturday starts till it ends. And then every other day, I'm good.
So then you just cancel out all the work from the previous 6 days.
Why does everyone say that? You can only,
because it's true.
Science is you can only, like, so many calories in 24 hours can only have so much of an impact on you. So if you go nuts for 24 hours and you're good the other 6 days of the week, it will work.
Okay. Do you have any place in particular that you'd like to go to eat?
99. We could go to somewhere classy.
I mean, we don't. I mean,
but if we're doing a triple
room,
date,
it's not like triple date. It's a triple date.
Martha would appreciate the 99, but I can't speak on your partner's behalf.
We've been to the 99,
but we're playing this up a little bit. We're trying to come off, ballerish.
Who the fuck said that?
Well, me. I'm not walking around with a couple broke boys here, am I?
I mean, Jake, do you have a preference on where we go for dinner?
I mean, I don't think it needs to be crazy upscale.
No, like we're not going to go to like Capitol Grill.
Abe and Louie's.
That's the same thing.
All right. What's a middle tier restaurant? Yard House. I call that high end 99.
It's basically the same thing.
Clearly haven't been to a lot of Yard Houses.
From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander, Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one-of-a-kind, best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color? A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all off-season long. Make winter weather feel like spring training. Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer every single time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado Ale. Shout out to Blue Moon. Blue Moon is basically going to be the central theme throughout the entire triple date, because you can have a blue moon at dinner.
Sneak
maybe
one
you
into
can
the escape room.
sneak a blue moon into the escape room, and then next thing you know, we're going out for blue moons after the escape room.
I'm going to be very drunk.
Well, there you go. I'm excited for that. Is there anything else on your manifesto that we didn't hit on?
Just in terms of stuff that's come out over the last week, not a ton. It's been pretty quiet on rumors. I'd say the real only thing we've heard is the Red Sox are no longer at the front for Jorge Soler. Looks like
no way.
Yeah, shocker, right? I don't think anyone's surprised there.
What happened?
The Red Sox don't want to go 3 years. Apparently, that's what he wants.
Oh, you mean they didn't want to offer more? What was the other thing in everyone's favorite name redacted segment? Shit that got reported 10 days after we said it on the podcast. Something else just came out like in the last few days where I was like, yeah, we said that on the podcast 2 weeks ago. It was something else that came out.
And it wasn't the Teoscar stuff?
No. I got to start writing this shit down. Something else like came out. Oh, that John Henry wouldn't be at Winter Weekend. We said that on the podcast, the last episode or the one before that.
Oh, yeah. That was a while back. And like we mentioned earlier, his excuse is a scheduling conflict, which is absolute bullshit. For a guy who owns the team, it's the same day it was a year ago. It's not like the date has changed. So you could have planned, you could have done whatever. It's about wanting to be there.
Yeah.
Besides that,
Warner's going to be there though.
Yeah,
Tom Warner is going to be there. I didn't know that part. I knew Sam and Breslow were going to be there.
Oh no, Sam Kennedy. That's what you had. You had Sam Kennedy was going to be there, and then that came out.
But I also said that John was not going to be there.
Okay, so maybe that's what it all was. I remember it now.
I said that on Twitter. That wasn't even like a podcast exclusive. I just fucking literally tweeted that, and then it got reported like fucking 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to have to say, but I think they're going to lay it out because they realize whatever this, charade they've put on for the last 2 or 3 months, it's over. Everyone knows, everyone's angry. They need to find a way to fan the flames because spring training, we're going to be talking about pitchers and catchers reporting in a month from now. That's what we'll be having, the conversations on this podcast about. It's crazy, it's scary, but it's better than ownership talk, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I feel like given how toxic Red Sox Twitter has been in the last 4 or 5 days, this wasn't that bad of a podcast.
No,
like we weren't like piss and vinegar or whatever this phrase is.
It just confirmed everything we knew, and I think the reality is here, and I think you fall into this camp, and I think a lot of people, you're upset, you're mad, you can only rehash the same talking points a million fucking times. It's how we feel. We're upset, but things are going to move on. There's going to be a baseball season. And like we said, we're invested in this team. We're going to be talking Red Sox. Like, you're not going to have the ownership conversation every fucking day for 3 hours. It's exhausting. It makes you not want to pay attention to anything Red Sox related. And I don't want to do that. It doesn't mean our opinions have changed, but fuck, man, you got to focus on other things or you're going to want to kill yourself listening to this podcast or talking that's why, on this podcast.
I've given it a lot of thought in terms of, if they are bad again, like, do we change the format and just continue like rolling through with like the interviews and like guests and stuff? And I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, like that's what we did in 2015. Because I can't do a third straight season where we come on here twice a week and break down games that just don't matter. Like I can't do that anymore.
It's weird to me, right? So like last year, even though it was disappointing, and I think you could even say this for 2022. But at the deadline, we still, I don't think anyone was buying into them as, a World Series contender, but there was hope they could make the playoffs. The deadline and how Bloom reacted to it and handled it was what upset you. And that kind of was the nail in the coffin when it felt like the season was over. If you can make it to September, it becomes a lot more bearable. And, as much as the Red Sox, as long as they go and trade for an arm and sign even a cheap arm, do I think they could get to 84, 85 wins? Sure, but it's the same thing as the last couple of years. Everything has to go right for you.
I just think that what sucks is we're kind of like so far removed from a good season now to where like they've lost any type of good faith to where so I'll just, this is like the only comparison that I have that makes sense to me. But so when I have like overwhelming anxiety, once that hits, the only way to reset is to go to sleep and wake up the next morning and like you just start the day fresh and like you don't feel it and you're like, all right, it's a clean slate, it's a new day. But like for me, that's just like how it works sometimes, where like the only way to stop feeling like that is to just go to bed and wake up and try again the next day. Like if it hits at like fucking 3:30 in the afternoon, like I am in a mental prison of anxiety until I go to sleep at fucking midnight or later. So the comparison here is Red Sox seasons, right? Like 21 was fun. You got to rinse away 2020. It didn't even really matter as a fake season. 2022, it's like, all right, yeah, that fucking sucked. But then 2023, like you came into last season spring training where it's like, oh, the vibes are good. And like you could roll into spring training and wash away 2022. Like this season could be different. Like the vibes are good and this is a good group. And like we see the vision and maybe they'll make a deal at the trade deadline and they'll take off and who knows. This year, the vibes are definitely like the bad vibes could not be worse. And I feel like you're carrying the last place seasons of 2022 and 2023 into 2024. So you can't just go to sleep, wake up the next morning and feel better. It's not like the new season is a turning of the page and you can just wipe the slate clean and feel different. And like we'll come into the season with an open mind and a fresh outlook. I don't feel that way about this team at all. I feel like whatever bad vibes existed over the last two last place seasons are being carried into this year, and even worse because of the full throttle comments and the false promises that weren't delivered upon. So that's why I'm like, all right, like if they're gonna win 80 games, like I don't think they're gonna like lose 100 games or anything like that.
60 games. They're not one of those teams. They're just mid.
No.
You're in baseball purgatory.
Yeah. Like it's just gonna be a mediocre ass year where every other team in the division is gonna be better than you, presumably, right? Like
you're easily the favorite for last place. It's not even a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is going to be a year where it's just they're not bad enough to where it's like call up the kids, and they're not good enough to where it's like maybe they can sneak in somehow. It is baseball purgatory. Like you are irrelevant, you are boring, you are uninteresting. That's kind of where it's at. So if it is like that again, we will talk about it. Like obviously it's not like we're going to completely abandon talking about the games, but like I have no interest in like covering a full season of that shit again.
It just feels like to me, and this was the big thing with the Breslow article, you're not really like, don't get me wrong, I love Tristan Casas, I love Brian Bayo. There's things to get into with this team if you're a diehard, but the reality is if you're looking for something significant to change, you're hoping on Marcelo Meyer, Roman Anthony, and Cal Teal. Like you're going to be sitting and checking what they're doing, hoping that they're coming up because the Red Sox are telling you whatever fucking definition they have a throttle at this point or however they look at it, it starts with them. It doesn't start with anyone else before them. And maybe if the team, has one of those starts to the year, they get to the deadline and they're on pace to come in second or something like that. And I don't feel confident in that, but that maybe changes it. And that was in that article where Breslow's comments were that maybe that could, make them change their outlook or do something like that. But it's hard to feel that way with the current roster. And that's just being honest. It's just being real. And it's a place Red Sox fans aren't used to, especially this many years in a row. But this feels like the reality we're in at this point. And what else is there to do? You know what I mean? Like you kind of just got to accept it and hope for the best. And it's depressing. That's why I tell people feel whatever way you want to feel. I can't tell anyone who's a Red Sox fan how to feel right now because damn, man, like I don't blame you if you're not super interested in this team because they're not acting like the Boston Red Sox anymore. They're acting like any of these mid-market teams that go over the luxury tax once in a while and every other year. It's kind of just, spending a good amount of money. You're not the A's. You're not spending nothing. You're spending over $200 million, but you're also not the Dodgers or the Yankees anymore. And for Red Sox fans, we used to consider ourselves part of that tier. You don't play in those pools anymore.
No. I'm also just making a choice to not be depressed about this team anymore.
That's where I am, where it's like, dog, once spring training comes, focus on the positives as much as you can. That's really what it is. Or you can focus on the negatives, enjoy doing that, but you're going to be miserable.
Yeah, like to me, it's not even that. It's just like, all right, if we get the sense that this is going to be another last place season, then like roll out the fucking interviews.
Yeah.
Like there are still people that care about the Red Sox where it's like, I'm a Red Sox fan, and because I love the Red Sox, I will love this interview with Jason Varitek. You know, like I'm just going to choose to make interesting Red Sox content this year if the Red Sox themselves are not interesting.
And then you might have the entire background of whatever rumors are surrounding Alex Cora and his future as this all plays out over the course of the season. So not only do you have the on the field worries, you have the off the field worries as well.
Mm-hmm.
Jared, I just wanted to ask you because I felt like I got some decent pushback on Twitter. People saying, I just tweeted out, I was like, gotta wonder how Alex Cora feels about all this stuff going on right now, this kind of direction. A couple people, respected people were like, well, he's, in cahoots with ownership or whatever it is. Do you view it in that light?
No, I don't. I don't even know how plugged in.
The way
I don't want to say plugged in as in like, obviously he knows the ins and outs, but I'm talking like, it was almost, there was a point where he was being looked at as like, oh, like, he's going to be a manager, but he's going to be like an assistant GM. I don't think that it's been that this winter.
He didn't describe it as that during the GM process. He said it was the same as when we went to go hire Heim.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think like, there must be this kind of positioning where if you're ownership or your baseball ops and you're reading between the lines, you might be thinking he is probably out of here after this year. Like how included are we going to make someone that is going to be using our secrets against us in a year? So
I've really been wondering, maybe rolling this theory or idea, but the hiring of Andrew Bailey, the relationship with Craig Breslow, and it's no disrespect to Jason Varitek either, but for whatever reason, Cotillo kind of said it. He wouldn't expect him to get heavily consideration for a managerial job, considering the last couple openings here. Could Andrew Bailey really be on the path to being a manager of the Red Sox once Alex Cora leaves?
It's an interesting thought. It's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, I'm not telling you it's coming from anywhere or anything like that, but just kind of look in. There was, people saying, do you want to be a bench coach with the Yankees? Whatever it may be. Could that be a path they go, especially if it really hits on the pitching side of things and it clicks? I wonder if he's a name that would get a lot of thought from someone like Breslow, who Bailey said it in some of his recent podcast appearances. They're as tight as everyone friggin' has rumored or talked about. They're locked in. But that also be taken away from, trying to fix this pitching infrastructure to some degree, and then you're hiring a pitching coach again.
Right.
Other Red Sox news?
Is there other Red Sox news?
Red Sox rookie development program. I'm not going to act like there's a ton coming out of that. Marcelo Meyer continues to talk about the shoulder, said he's near 100%. That's kind of what it is. And to kind of relay into that, top 100 lists have come out from Baseball America and Baseball Prospectus. Marcelo Meyer, number 14 on the top 100, number 1 in the Red Sox system. Anthony, 21. Kyle Teal, 62. Rafael, 94. Same 4 names were on Baseball Prospectus, except Anthony was 8, Meyer was 32, Teal 47, and Rafael 59. The only takeaway I have on this is there's some weird shit with how people are talking about Marcelo Meyer. I swear people are rooting for that kid to fail so hard. And I think it's just because Marcelo Meyer. Like,
no. Who is rooting for him to fail?
Just like the angry Twitter mob who's just like, this guy, you guys are putting all this fucking pressure, like framing him as the savior for all these years. And it's like, guys, like, and everyone starts citing last year and his struggles despite the kid injuring his shoulder and playing through it from May 7th on or whatever it was. Just very weird to me. Very weird. And I think if you're looking at Marcelo Meyer and you're trying to write him off, and I'm not telling you he's a perfect prospect, he needs to work on, hitting breaking stuff a little bit better. There's a little more swing and miss there than you'd like. But come on, man. He's the number 14 prospect in the game for a reason. Stop trying to act like he's some bum that Red Sox fans are hyping up for fun.
Yeah.
It's lazy.
I like this idea of a new segment. If there's obviously like the major stories that we hit on every episode, But then at the end of the show, it's kind of like Steve's emptying the bench.
Yeah.
It's Milliken's manifesto. it is just like there's your news and notes where you may be the only person on planet Earth that cares about this shit, but you care about it, and maybe some people find it interesting, and no one's gonna be scouring the internet being like, let me see what the fuck Marcelo Meyer did at this little training camp. But Milliken's manifesto has it, so let's get into it.
And I'll say on Kyle Teal, that Alex Spear podcast that I talked about, holy fuck, the stock on Kyle Teal right now through the roof. Executives around the game, if they're picking one out of those three names and saying, watch, he's going to rise, it's Kyle Teal over and over again. So that should kind of get you excited, because that guy's someone who could be your catcher of the future. I'm not saying he's Adley Rutschman, but look at how someone like Adley Rutschman transforms a team. If Kyle Teal can be 60% of that, you're going to feel pretty friggin' good. My only other thing, Trevor Story's camp took place. Marcelo Meyer wasn't there. That's where some of the weirdness came from for some people. He was apparently still getting physical therapy on that shoulder. The other attendees, Tristan Casas, Nick York, Vaughn Grissom, and David Hamilton were the entire group there. Not a big group. Do you have a problem with Rafael Devers not being there?
That was the thing that I saw on Twitter was people getting on Devers for not being at the Trevor Story camp. And it's like, first of all, it's January, and didn't they get together as early as December?
I didn't see a exact date, but I'm assuming it was relatively recently, because they were posting like Casas on his story. He had Vaughn Grissom taking BP at wherever they were at.
Yeah. Like, it's Trevor Story is doing this camp for the younger players because that's what Troy Tulowitzki did for him as a younger player in Colorado. Rafael Devers is not a younger player. Like, he is like the guy. He's like, imagine being like the face of your franchise and you have to report to someone else's fucking infield camp. It's like, I get it. Like, was he great defensively last year? No. Should he be working on his defense in the offseason? Yes. But he can do that in the Dominican Republic where he is. Like, he's like on his like fucking farm. Like, that's what he does in the offseason. He like chills at home, and he's got a farm that he lives on. And like, I'm sure he gets in his work and his conditioning and whatever else. Like, does he have to come all the way to the United States? Like, he lives there. Like, it's not like he can just like drive on over to Trevor Story camp. I think it's more so like these younger guys that want to learn from someone that has big league experience. It's just not the same thing for a guy like Devers. Like, he's going to do his own thing. Like, a dude that makes over $300 million in the big leagues doesn't need to go to a teammate's camp to learn how to fucking be better. You know, like I know that how fans see it as like it's like a bonding thing, like teammates bonding. It's like they have plenty of time to do that in spring training, and then they're with each other for the next 6 months during the season. There will be team bonding. So I'm not really overly concerned about Rafael Devers not being in Trevor Story infield camp in January.
Yeah, I think the Dominican Republic thing is like, you know, dude's legit has to fly across the ocean to get to you. Tristan Casas, credit to him. That's a guy, did not have to be at that Trevor Story camp, and he's at the rookie development program, hanging out with the guys, working out with them. He's becoming the leader, like one of those very key leaders on the team already. And credit to him for trying to step up and fill those roles because it's needed. And I'll give credit to Trevor Story as well. Everyone, you know, as I was posting, it's like, oh, I want to see him hit a fastball. I want to see him hit a breaking ball. Fuck off. Like, you talk about wanting people who step up and are trying to create a culture here and make those vibes better, set a different tone, set an example of what Red Sox baseball should be. Yeah, Story struggled. There's no doubt about it the last 2 years, but that's the kind of stuff you're looking for. I want to see someone who puts their arm around the younger guys like that again and again. And who knows, maybe it makes these guys better. Maybe it means nothing in the long run, but I'd rather he fucking try and put that effort in, because if you want to, you know, push certain narratives, I remember in 2022, I think it was Shaughnessy who was pushing a lot of the stuff that, Trevor Story wasn't talking to the media after the game at a certain point when he got blitzed by Ohtani that day and he just couldn't touch anything. All right. He's come, obviously the Xander Bogaerts thing has come and gone, and we knew what Xander meant to this organization. That tells me when you look at Trevor Story, for people who say he just took a deal here because this was what was on the table, well, he's trying. He's trying to make his imprint on the Red Sox. That's all I can ask for out of the guy. I don't know what else you want.
Yeah, I love it. Story's a great dude. Great athlete, great dude. And I think deep down, he probably feels bad about the way things played out with Xander and how it was perceived as him taking his spot, you know? So, I mean, it's not like he's just mailing it in. Like, oh, I got all this money and I haven't lived up to that at my end of the bargain, and who gives a shit? Like, because there have been guys who have done that. There have been guys who have come here, gotten paid, and it's like, didn't work out, but who gives a fuck? Check still clears.
Not Pablo Sandoval, who could not give a fuck about anybody else.
Couldn't give a fuck. Didn't give a fuck about himself or his teammates or the team or anything or winning. Nothing. Direct quote. He said, I have nothing to prove. I have nothing left to prove. When he showed up in, I believe it was 2017 or 16. Yeah. His first year was what, 15? Yeah. So he's had statistically the worst year of his career in 2015, and then he showed up in 2016 fat as fuck and told the media, I have nothing to prove.
My last two notes, and they're very quick. Trevor Story, Pete Fozzie was down there, Red Sox hitting coach. Very high remarks. Says he looks like he's got his power back. His arms built up again, hitting at the plate. We'll see. I'm not telling you to run down the fucking, whatever, onto DraftKings and start betting that he's going to go nuts or do something like that. But I'll take the positive reviews right now. On the other side, Brian Bayo working out with Pedro Martinez again. Make it a yearly tradition. I want to see it every damn off season. Please and thank you.
Did you see on Instagram, there was some dude tagged us in a video on Instagram. He's like, you guys got to see this. And it was Brian Bayo's podcast interview.
I did.
And I was like, bro, this thing is in Spanish with no subtitles. Like, what the fuck? Like, what did you think I was going to do with this?
So there were a couple accounts, the Spanish accounts, that were like breaking it down. And I didn't think there was much in there, but there was one thing where he kind of took a shot at what's going on with the Red Sox a little bit. The two main things he said, besides Ohtani, the best baseball player, in MLB is Ronald Acuna Jr. And secondly, the Red Sox need to add, I believe, 2 hitters at the very least. And he was kind of saying they have more work they need to do. So Brian Bayo speaking out on behalf of the Red Sox, trying to tell them to do more. He's not wrong. Ballsy for a kid his age, though. I give him credit.
I mean, look at who he's working out with. I mean, Pedro used to do the same thing.
Pedro's the one who's been pushing a lot of these kind of messages, let's be real, for over a year now to the Red Sox, whether it's been on MLB Network or what. And he says the Red Sox, they touched base with him on an extension. He hasn't heard anything since, I believe, the end of the season. But I wouldn't read too much into that. Spring training is where that's really going to go. And guess what? Craig Breslow, John Henry, Tom Werner, if this is the way you're going to act, you better have extensions for him and Casas. Get him paid. Get him locked in. If you're waiting for those 3 to come up, it's going to be a couple years, man. It's a couple more years of team control you're taking away from them. You're going to actually create a window here.
I've never been this down on the Red Sox in my life.
It's hard. I get it. It's very hard. Can I interest you in something?
Sure. This is part of the manifesto or no?
No.
Oh, it's your Chris Sale action figure?
Yes, I found the Chris Sale voodoo doll that Ham used to talk about.
Where'd you get it?
A friend from work who has noticed things have been bad with the Red Sox lately decided to give this to me. He saw it on sale after he got traded, and he was just trying to cheer me up. So this was my consolation prize for the Red Sox letting me down once again.
Is that from Matt McCarthy?
No, my friend George. He's a producer behind the scenes.
Okay. Shout out to George.
Great dude.
Great dude. Shout out George. We were going to get Jimmy Stewart on the podcast, but he is sick.
Deathly ill. I have not seen him all week. He's puking his brains out.
I'm upset about that because I'm having a gathering for the Royal Rumble. And if Jimmy can't make it, that's going to be very upsetting to me. But it's not this weekend. It's next weekend.
Okay. You might have a shot then. But from what I've heard, I'm not seeing him for the rest of the week.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Praying for you, Jay Stu. I know he's listening. He listens to every episode.
Does he?
I'm telling you, every damn episode, and he usually has feedback and or questions based on what we were talking about.
I love that. He's great. We love Jimmy Stewart. Anything else on the manifesto?
No, that's it.
Okay. Just a quick 3-hour pod.
Nothing. Darkest points in Red Sox time right now for us, and we're still out here giving you 3 hours. I don't know what else you want.
Yeah. Fuck, man. And I think we kept it real, and we didn't go super over the top negative. You just told it like it is.
You hit on it, you cry about it for a little bit, and then you move on to the next thing. We've been crying about it for months. Nothing we found out over the last, last 5 days or so is different than what we've been talking about. They just finally said it to our face. They had the balls to do it. Not saying they deserve credit for it, but at least now they're saying it.
Sure. Jake's takes?
I just can't wait to go to every home game this year.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for you.
It's going to be a blast.
Jake's just going to like go and spend all his money on Blue Moons and fancy restaurant dinners in the State Street Pavilion. He's just going to line John Henry's pockets with money.
Can't wait.
I'm going to do 10 home games this year. That's my goal.
What did you do last year?
2.
2?
That's a
You're
big
gonna 5X?
improvement.
I just said you're going to 5X. Okay. I just want to double down. I am not selling my season tickets or canceling my season tickets, so to speak.
Nice tip.
Thank you. Yeah, that was tough. That tweet, I had to mute the conversation. I did. I was like, I don't want to fucking see you guys talking about my titties.
I'm in Twitter mode where I now send something out and I just do not wait to see any of the responses. People see Baseball America rankings and they absolutely like lose their shit in anger.
This fucking tweet with my titty in it. It was in a response to this dude that said, then that's on you. I understand you have to go because of your job. You don't need season tickets for your family, however. So keep giving Henry your money for a shitty product, then complain about it.
Go tell your family to fuck off, Jared. Come on.
Yeah. I said, I literally have my season ticket seats tattooed on my chest, but yes, let me remove something from my life with tremendous sentimental value in exchange for the Twitter applause from like 23 people. I'll get right on that. And that tweet has 881,000 views. That tweet has 334 replies. I mean, a lot of people are just roasting the tattoo, which is fine. I got it when I was like 23, maybe 24.
That's skinny Jared, is it not?
No,
you had some
2013
muscle?
Jared was fucking beast.
Okay, all right. I was about to say
2013 Jared was a moose. But yeah, people were getting on me for shaving my chest, and I'm like, bro, use the context clues. Like that, my skin is red. That means I just got the tattoo. You have to shave to get the tattoo.
Oh, this is like when you got it?
Yeah, this is like, I mean, like, look how fresh that ink is.
Take the hoodie off. I want to see what it looks like in 2023 or 2024.
I'll let you see me. I'll show you in the escape room.
Okay.
I'll take my shirt off.
Deal. I'll take mine off too.
Yeah.
Jake?
I mean, I'll do anything in the escape room.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how you get out.
Jesus.
All right. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. And Andrew Bailey is supposed to be next week. I have to follow up with him, but I don't want to promise something that, I mean, I don't know. Like I've only met him and talked to him once, so I can't be like, yo, what the fuck?
I'll say.
So we'll see.
I think we bring something different to the table when it comes to interviews, but I think so far when he's kind of hopped on some of these podcasts, very open about what he's looking for in pitching. It'd be kind of cool maybe to dive a little deeper on the Garrett Whitlock and Tanner Houck stuff. How do you plan to fix them? Because if that's what we're looking at, it seems they're betting on him, Cutter Crawford.
Yeah.
How do you fix the puzzle?
How do you fucking fix it? It's a great question. We'll find out next week with Andrew Bailey, maybe. See you then.
Buenas noches, amigos.